There we go. There's the notification. Let's wait for this to get this muted.
So if you see there's somebody doesn't have their YouTube muted, is it me? No, I don't have anything open. If you see emails on the Check My Coin that says me, or whatever, that's from me. And wanted me to send some pictures that I took on using the LookZ app, so he can show it as an option for people.
I can't get that thing to work on my Samsung.
Okay, we should be live here.
Frank, does he have an app for the Samsung? I know at one point in time it was only for Apple.
Yeah, you can use it for anything. Yeah, and he updated it so you can use it to catalog your coins. You can use it to sell coins. There's a social network on it and everything.
I'm gonna have to get a hold of it. Because the zoom doesn't, or the focus doesn't work. You know how you tap on it to focus it supposedly?
You might need to delete it and reinstall it.
Done that.
Really?
Okay, we should be good to go here. How's it going, guys?
We are live.
Welcome to our weekly live Q&A that we've been doing. We've been bouncing around channels. So this week the burden was placed upon me, which is completely fine. But how about we go down the line here, and the few people we have, how about you introduce yourself? You can start, Chris.
What am I starting?
The party.
Party?
Introduce yourself.
Oh, okay. Well, hi, I'm Chris. I like coins, and I don't know what else to say. I'm a little jealous of Paula's background right now because it's pitch black here. Looks pretty nice there, so
yeah. Start carrying. Good, Paula.
Christopher Rhodes is a admin on several of the Facebook pages. Knows like a tremendous amount of coins, so don't let him fool you. Don't let him be mocked.
Who's watching? How do we know
everybody? All of YouTube, the entire world is watching you right now, Christopher. Well, everybody knows. I'm just a big coin nerd. I love errors and varieties. That is my my calling in life. That's my true love. So, and I want to learn everything I can, and I do. Christopher, I've learned a lot from him. So,
well, thank you.
A little bit from Jeff.
From everybody else too.
That's the whole point, right?
Yep, you're right.
Frank, you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. I'm Frank. Everyone knows me as Coin Dragon here on YouTube. I've been collecting on and off about 25-ish years. Also error and variety specialist, I'd like to think. I also have an affinity for wood grain cents and other coins displaying the same colors and stuff.
Hey, Frank. I just want to say in person, congratulations on your 84 double deer.
Right.
Oh, thanks, man. Appreciate it.
I mean, you know, that's what we're all looking for. We're all looking for one of those, and you got it, baby. So congratulations.
Yeah, that was interesting. It just so happened to coincide with the Great American Coin hunt, too. So I'm kind of left thinking in the back of my mind if somebody didn't just like toss that in a Coinstar or something somewhere.
That would be crazy.
I know. To think that they would do that.
Did you get that in change or was it in a roll?
It was in a roll. I get $10 worth usually once a week.
Nice.
But
I get 10 boxes a week, and he gets 10 rolls and finds the 84 double air.
Ken, you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, how are you? I'm Ken. I hang around a lot, talk about coins. I have a coin class every other Friday. It's a lot of fun. You can learn stuff. More than anything else, what I do is promote the hobby. Try to get people into the hobby of collecting coins. Hey, take it as far as you like. Do you want to get into die varieties, errors, rare, old, valuable stuff? You know, complete whole sets, whatever it is. I'm all for it because there's no rules. Whatever you want to collect, I'm okay with that. And I tend to get into the entrepreneurial side of the hobby, and it's a lot of fun, man. Get into it. It'll last your lifetime and can take you any place you want to go.
Got Shay. Shay, you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. I'm Shay Hoffmaster of Mantic Coins, and the last few years I've been searching for varieties and errors, doing some extreme coin roll hunting and whatnot, and yeah, just trying to promote the hobby and learn all I can and spread the knowledge and help people. I've also got a knack for computers and anything technical, so trying to help out as much as I can when needed.
Speaking of that,
Hey, Shay,
Yeah.
you say extreme coin roll hunting. Are you doing it like on the
Is
roof
that like
of
no
a
holds
van
barred?
going 65 down the highway?
Yeah, on a unicycle.
would.
On a unicycle, blinded on a highway. Yes,
That's awesome. That is awesome.
you should see it. It's really hard to
Suplex
drink
off the
my
top rope,
big
yeah.
gulp at the same time.
And then I'm also introduce myself, me and my boring self. Name's Jeffrey. Of course, I run shumarcoinchats. Been a dealer for about 2 years now, collecting for more years than I can count at this point. I lost track a while ago. My focus is in die progressions and die trends, so that lays hand in hand in terms of varieties and errors. Got my start in terms of wheat cents and varieties and errors with the wheat cent series. So that's kind of where my roots are. And then I kind of migrated to the far extent of die progressions and trends, which can really be a whale at times. That's the best way to say it.
Hey, Brian, I see you found your way in.
Brian!
Hey, yeah.
Hey, man.
I never even heard of this before.
Pretty cool, isn't it?
Oh, been doing it for 2 months.
We didn't tell you, but Brian's in my backyard too.
I'll tell you what, it
Oh,
looks
there's
like
just
it.
with the kids and stuff. There's too much noise in there, so I came out. And no, you got green. I'm in the desert, so no, there's not
okay.
much green.
Is that Hooper?
Hooper's in the chat.
That is Hooper.
Woohoo!
No, that's Brian Patrick.
What?
Brian Patrick.
Ryan Patrick.
Yeah, y'all probably never seen my face before.
Ken,
We've seen him
turn
in
that hearing
Facebook.
aid up.
We've seen his Facebook.
That's it. Oh yeah, that's about
There
it.
you go.
I see what you did there.
All right.
He's
Well,
probably
I
never
just-
seen my face either. Probably doesn't even know who I am.
No, actually, I saw you on the when I broadcast from.
Bellingham.
Yeah.
Yeah. You were there last year, right?
Yeah, I was. Well, actually, I was living up there at the time. I was
Nice.
working. I was working in Kitsap County over there, Bremerton area.
Oh, yeah.
So
Hey,
So
man,
that was
you
my
lied.
neck of the
I see
woods.
green right behind you.
well,
Is
it's just because I took a nail in the shade.
You're
it's
out in
only-
Arizona, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So let me ask you. Everybody always says it's a dry heat. Does it still suck?
It for me, once it gets above 110, it starts to suck. But
Yeah.
but no, 9 months out of the year you can't beat it. You really can't. It's just like June, July, August. You just want to, hibernate, come out at night.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, well, I never even heard of this hangout thing before, so I just wanted to jump on, see what it was, say hi to y'all, and I'm gonna go back in there because we're trying to get dinner going.
Hey, enjoy your dinner. Thanks for stopping by.
Hey, no problem. Thanks
Sure,
for the link, man. I'll catch y'all later.
Bye, Brian.
Brian.
Take it easy,
Bye.
baby.
Jeez, man, my machine is really struggling to get these photos open with everything else running.
What are you trying to get up? Are you
Emails.
getting something from the email? And I think Shay or me. I don't know, Christopher. Do you have the link to Check My Coin?
Me?
Yeah.
I'm not going to be able to do anything. I have an old laptop. I can only run this, and that's about it.
Oh,
Yeah, can one of you guys pull photos? Because my machine's really struggling to get this done.
Yep. Nope.
I shall endeavor.
Yep. Okay.
Ken, if you start on one, Ken, I'll get the next one.
Okay, I got
thanks,
Michael Q&A coin. Wow, look at that. I wish you could see this.
Yep, I don't have it.
Okay. Oh,
You might lock on him, Jeffrey?
What was that?
Lock on Ken's box.
Ken, yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Ken's in charge.
Okay, let me see if I can make this work. You ready? Because I got OBS. I'm using OBS so I can show you my uncluttered desk. Okay, lesser cluttered screenshot. How the hell's this work? Let's see. Maybe. Oh no, that's got to move over. No. What if we made this bigger? All right, that might be as good as I can get for a little while. Let's see. What's this button do? Oh no. Okay, let's undo that. Where's the backwards arrow? They don't give you a backwards. Okay.
Holy shit. I hope you don't have an eject button in your car.
The stream will self-destruct in 5 seconds.
Yeah. Okay. How can I make that bigger in its own? Open a new tab.
Which one do you start with?
Okay, where? There. Oh, I see. I'm almost got it. I'm almost there. Share.
Fix your plans, buddy.
You should be looking at a quarter.
That mint mark turned into Paula.
There we go. This is sent in by Mike Mullins, and I've got to get
and give me a complex.
more down. He's asking if it's an RPM and which one. Let me pull up more photos. How do I get there?
I have Variety Vista. I have Variety Vista up, and it's none of those.
No, that's machine doubling.
Yeah.
And you know, this one is very interesting to me because the rest of the coin has clear die deterioration. All of the, raised devices on that coin are mushy and, just beat up looking. The weird thing is that mint mark is actually really sharp looking with what appears to be the only thing on the reverse to show machine doubling. And I could never wrap my head around why one thing will show it and others won't. But what sticks out to me is how sharp the contrast is on that mint mark, and everything else is just all deteriorated looking. So
He was added later. I do not have a date here, and he doesn't say anything about the date. Oh wait, there it is.
Well, yeah, if it was added later.
60. So to me, that what that looks like, that mint mark is it is machine doubling, but it is just mint mark that got repunched the correct way, and was added in later in the die stage. I think at least, because it's crisp compared to everything else, and usually they get mushy. Because your center poke there is still that center of that D is open. I think that's the mint mark that was added later.
Take a little
yeah, I agree. It's just a weird thing because it's on the working die, but yet that's the only thing on the reverse of the coin that shows the machine doubling. So that's why I think it's so confusing for a lot of people.
Yeah.
So CJ brings up the point: could it been a Philly die repurposed as a Denver?
So use it Philly first for a while.
That's what CJ's asking. It's highly unlikely, to be completely honest, just because that is a late stage die.
Yeah.
And it's on a quarter, and that metal's hard, and those dies wore out, and they used crap out of them.
Yeah, and aren't the Philly? I would imagine the dies are more in demand in Philly, rather than in Denver, right? I mean, the mintages are usually higher in Philly.
Yeah.
Yeah, not to mention that, but you're Denver, you get this in the mail, you say, what the heck is this crap? How about a brand new one, you know?
Yeah.
They put the dies in a service, and they'll put out 10 coins per second, really. So these dies, they last a day, maybe two, and that'd be a long-lasting die. There's really not a whole lot of opportunity. Stop it, take it out of production, ship it to Denver, and press it back into service.
Yeah.
I mean, a few hours, and it's already halfway gone. So I'm going to dismiss that idea, though.
Yeah.
But it's been done with other dies.
So
But
I
that's
think
good thinking. It's good thinking outside the box, though. I mean, that just shows some critical thinking.
so. Everybody think that's just MD.
Yep.
I do.
100%.
I wish we had a straighter. Do we have a clearer picture of that so that you can show him why that's MD?
Let's not forget it's also flat and shelf-like.
Right.
Yeah. Every time I show off this quarter every week. Let's see here.
2 in the pink glove. I like that.
Oh man, that's a directory. I'm trying to get this saved.
Oh my God.
You should have been on his stream one night, Christopher, when he went through all of those pictures. Like they went, he
What
had
the
them
hell
on
Ken showing off now?
I'm not
Three
sure why
cow
you're
teeth. What's that all about?
I'm trying to get this to show up. And let's see, edit.
What's that about wrestling?
It's even funnier because there was more than one.
So we can resize it. Yeah, that's zoomed in about 300%. And it is flat and shelf-like. When you compare this with a regular known D, and you'll see that, yeah, that's a flat thing. And compare the thickness of it in particular to a normal example.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Now what?
Let me mute my audio.
They saw your 3 cow teats and they're coming to rescue everybody.
Oh, it's Shumar got one up
The
there.
Michael Mullins, like Christopher said before, that is, it would be very confusing to look at that. And MD on the mint mark is the exact same as it would be on the rest of the coin. When you see MD on the coin, you see that flat and shelf like. It's the same thing with the mint marks.
Yeah, this is that 49D RPM that is still stomping. That's still stomping a lot of us. It's listed as Wexler RPM 2. PCGS recognizes it as an RPM.
But
But
it also says there's MD on it.
Yeah.
yes,
I'll say this. There are definitely some listings in the Wexler files that I believe are wrong. And I mean, everybody makes mistakes. And as time goes on, people learn and you know, technology changes. But to me, that's machine doubling. I don't see any notching. It's flat and shelf-like. So I don't see why it would be listed as an RPM.
Thank you.
Looking at the upper left serif.
I don't think it had us all confused, though. I think we were just confused why it was listed that way. You know what I mean? Every single person on the panel was like, what?
The question would be, is it just a bad example and he needs another one? Or
is it an
anomaly from the one time?
looking at that top? Is he looking at the top of that mint mark where that looks like it could possibly maybe be a notch there? I don't know.
I mean, because PCGS is recognizing it as an RPM, so
That's Wexler does.
But that's because Wexler recognized it, right?
Yeah. That's what I was just going to say. They're recognizing Wexler's listing.
Mm-hmm.
But how many did they have listed as a population?
I'd have to look that up. Huh?
Yeah, graded population.
I'd have to look it up.
Do you guys remember a while back? I don't know how active you are with doubledie.com, but a while back, the website was kind of going through a transition, and what he was doing was going through and removing a bunch of listings that he realized were not double dive. So he knows himself that he makes mistakes, and I had a couple listed that were decommissioned, I call it, and it was found that they were, well, they were technically double dies, I guess. They were double master dies, but I think it was back in the 50s and 60s, there was a treasure trove of listings that were just wiped out by him, and he realized they weren't double dies. So
even the cherry picker's guide is reflecting that now.
Yeah.
There's a lot of debunked listings on there. And yeah.
That just goes to show you everyone's human.
Yep.
I think it's probably, I have a theory that it's because it's being questioned more. I think it was okay, you know, they were letting it go just because, well, it's been on there and it's, you know, been believed to be this for so long, we'll just let it go. And the more people are educating themselves and learning the process and everything else, they're questioning it.
Yeah.
Now I'm having trouble with 1942Ds. I'm trying to sort those out and cross-reference those between Konica, Wexler, Copper Coins, Cherry Picker's Guide. And honestly, it gets confusing because not everybody's on the same page. You'll have Konica not offering any cross-references. Wexler will cross-reference two coins, two different listings to one Konica, and two different copper coins. It's a bit confusing. So we're trying to weed that out. But man, it's tough. It's tough. You've got Copper Coins as fantastic photos, and he'll cite a few different dye varieties, or excuse me,
Markers.
Dye markers, yeah. And Wexler, well, he'll have the same mint mark, and it seems really close, but he's got different markers listed, and none of the markers line up because this guy's doing a head and that guy's doing a tail.
Hey, throw in the Crawford listings as well.
Oh God, I don't even have the book, so I got that in a list by itself over here.
I have a digital PDF.
I'll be needing that.
I don't ever use it, so
it's a struggle. More than anything else, what we're trying to do, Shay and I, on this SAN database is get it right. It's the accuracy we need more than anything else. And boy, it's tough.
I'm sorry I kind of abandoned you on that project there, but
I still get your copy.
Confusing.
That's okay. You're a family man. You got kids and all that. Yeah.
Someone have another email pulled up?
Yes, I do. Let me switch over.
Let's lock on Shay.
So let's see. The question is from Rob's Varieties. What can you tell me about the bottom of the U and S in trust? Any doubling there? And he has 3 photos.
Yeah, this is one I looked at earlier, and the answer is no.
Dye deterioration.
No, so this looks like
damage.
A roller, coin roller.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't see there really isn't too much dye deterioration there.
Up towards the rim.
There we go. I wasn't locked on Shay. No. That should be good. Yeah, there's not too much. That's flattening of the coin itself, flattening of those devices. That's not dye deterioration. There's some slight, but most of that's damage. I wouldn't consider it a late stage dye.
No, but the bottom of the R and U, that's almost certain coin roller damage.
Yep.
Perfect place for it. You go through enough coins, you'll be able to pick this stuff up pretty quickly because you see it over and over and over again.
Yeah, you can see how that's kind of squished. That's not like a nice, crisp, another set of details. It's flattened out.
Amazing how many coins end up on the end of a roll, isn't it?
Yeah. And just think, they'll all have their return sometime.
4%.
All right, loading the next one. He sent several, so
that's 4% from new, right, Ken?
Starting from new, every single time they're rolled. So you re-roll that penny 25 times, supposedly there's a 100% chance that it's been on the end at some point. But
man, I love statistics.
It may never have been there.
Yeah, I've been compiling some marketing statistics recently. That's really interesting. So there's some interesting trends going on right now.
So the next one he sent says, can you tell me if the L in Liberty is a DDO? Nothing is flat and there is a split.
Oh, that poor coin.
Looks like more damage to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's bunged up all over the place, top and bottom of the E.
Yep, the bottom of the I is flattened as well.
Yeah, and you could see how that direction of that L, how it is, it very much parallels right in that I to where something came down in a almost circumference style, arc style down through there.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And you can see it's grimy, it's got dirt on it. So yeah, that would just be damage.
Like someone picked that one out of a road tar.
Yeah, really.
I find that grime on old wheats all the time, actually.
They're a lot grimier back then.
I think that was in my appendix.
We used to play in the mud all day. Coin Searcher 2 says it's very hard to find varieties on coins that are so worn and damaged. A lot of times, once you get to around fine and lower, you can't. All the detail that would identify that coin would be lost.
Yeah, and that boils down to your die markers. It really tightens down the attribution because most of your die markers are going to be worn off or unable to see from damage and other sorts of things.
The next one says, hi, my name is Robert. It's still Rob's Varieties. I must have gotten them out of order. I've been searching varieties and areas on pennies for less than 2 months. I found this penny recently and wanted to know your thoughts in the following sections in the attached image on the same coin. I've noticed a lot of MD in addition to possible doubling. I see this as a plus for a newbie. It helps decipher what is doubling versus what is not in one place. All right, cool. The comment on the following, the top of the G in God. Okay, let me find his. It's a 2017 P.
Here's my first thought.
There it is.
He needs to get used to finding coins like this because these newer, the Shield Sense, more than half of them look like this that I'm finding.
The rim ridge.
Right.
Yes, my terminology's catching on. But yeah, you have weakness in your devices, shallow strike.
Yep. Die deterioration.
Let's see the L.
You see the die deterioration doubling inside the O at the top, inside the D at the top. Yeah,
that's a shield.
Yep, typical shield. You're right.
Yep, zincs are a harder metal, and it's just a thin plating. I mean, geez, it's that thin plating on the copper. So really, it's the strength of that zinc that is wearing down the dies a whole lot faster than it used to.
Well, and like I said the last time I was on the panel, just like every other business out there, businesses are always looking to increase their profits. And let's be honest, they're not making any money on pennies, so as it is. So, or cents out there for the anal retentive. But I'm sure they're looking at ways to cheapen the cost of making them, which could also include cheaper metals or alloys used in the dies, using the dies longer than normal to get more lifespan out of them. So I think this is going to be what we see on pennies until they decide to finally stop making them. I just don't think the quality is going to be there, and I don't really think they care too much about quality because at the end of the day, these coins are supposed to be used for commerce. So they're not making them with the intention of people collecting them. At least not most of them. So that's why I think if you're good at grading, there's definitely some money to be made in the modern coins if you can find the high grades. I think 2010 was known for not having many higher grade coins, and some 67s and 68, if you can even find one, have a lot of value there, even though it's a common coin.
You have Amber Pinnell in the chat here.
Hey.
Hey, Amber.
What's up, Amber?
She follows Chris around.
No
Amber's a
problem.
star.
Stalker.
The Mint doesn't put as much attention into the quality of the coin for business strikes. And a lot of people getting upset because they're not putting the same sort of attention into the more collectible items. The W's are getting tore up left and right. I saw one the other day with roller marks, just awful.
Have you seen the reverse proofs? The frosted area seems to bleed out around the polished raised devices. If you look real close at them, they're really rough looking.
On the 19s?
Yeah.
I should be getting mine probably tomorrow, so.
Yeah, so I follow a lot of the trends on these reverse proofs, and even they use those dyes even too much because a lot of times those frosty surfaces aren't too frosty anymore on those reverse proofs.
Right.
So the US Mint needs to fix their quality issue. That's for sure.
And use a different rinsing agent for crying out loud.
Oh, for God's sake, get some Dawn.
Yeah.
Here it is.
Maybe they should use acetone.
Take grease out of your way.
Oh, I've got one here. Tammy Jackson sent this to me. It's off eBay. Let me see if I can get my thing to work here. Can you see this? Maybe.
I'm looking over the Ken here. Hold on. There you go, Ken.
Hopefully this
There
works.
you are.
Hi, can you see it? This is one of the new W quarters, the American Park. And this fellow is saying this is a triple-double die.
Ooh, triple-double. Does that make it
six-double?
Triple-double.
Triple-double.
It's a basketball.
American Park.
I know there's a 5 hubbing one, but I think that's a Kennedy half too.
There we go.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of those. Frank,
now these letters are in Q's. So on the die, they'd be raised. Now, if you were to strike a die with a hub to create a raised letter and then do it again, you would shrink that raised letter and the device on the coin would be thinner.
Incused MD.
What you have here, you may have some MD, particularly at the bottom of, say, the 1, kind of showing up in the N on some of these other photos, but this is otherwise really significant die deterioration on this.
A hot mess.
That's a hot mess right there.
You can see how it goes radially out from the center.
But a big.
And it's all tilted directly radially from the center of that coin.
When people post these, which is actually quite often, I always refer them to Ken Potter's article on the internet. I think the title of it is something like "High Die Bounce Causes Incuse Machine Doubling," but he describes it very well in that article, and it's so much easier to send people there to read it.
Okay, Smokey had a question. Once the errors outnumber the normal coins, will the normal coins have value? that's a complex thing. You have a lot of beast working there at the same time, but you just have your normal. It depends what people collect. That means just your coins without the errors or varieties methods. I figure that's what you're targeting for is your varieties. But it really depends on what it is. Just your normal coins are scarcer, and that machine doubling most of the time is not gonna get that high grade anyway. That deterioration.
I had a feeling that's what that was, Smokey.
Yeah, the higher grades will always get. Yeah.
Okay, so Shay posted a question here. He says he's run into a lot of pennies with no VDB. Do they carry more than face value? Yes, and he says, what are my options on discovered pennies with a die crack? Do they hold any value beyond face? And how does Uncle Sam view selling coins online?
This is from Rob, just to make sure.
Okay. So in terms of die progression and die trend type of thing, that's just die deterioration, just like any other without that VDB, because that's just a small. It's on in essence a curve that's set into that die, so that metal flow runs in there and basically erodes away at that VD pretty quick. And the same thing with that crack. That crack forms for the same reason. You have a high volume of metal flow running down into that bust in that area. So is that going to add a value? Not really. If that crack turns into, say, a retained cud or turns into a cud, you'll see a lot of cuds in that region for the same reasons I've described. So when it reached that level, that really is when the value starts kicking in. Do you guys have any input on that?
Yeah. If
Go
you're
ahead,
finding
Ken.
a lot of coins that have no VDB, the key indicator that your coin is not rare is when you have a lot of them.
Good point. As far as the die crack thing, every once in a while, you'll come across a coin that gets a die crack in a convenient spot. So let's say the spitting horse, or I don't know if anybody's ever heard of this, but on one of the 2009s, the one with the double thumbs, I can't remember it now.
Formative years.
There's actually a die crack progression that runs down his leg. They call that bootstrap collection.
Bootstrap, yeah.
Every once in a while, you just get one that's in a convenient location, and sometimes people like it to the point where it will add a premium to that coin. But I find that it's usually short-lived. It doesn't really stand the test of time like, the good stuff does. So.
Yeah, a good example would say spiked heads or cracked skulls. Those are relatively cheap to pick up in any grade. So just look and see what people are selling for.
Look at the 80s on the reverse. I mean, how many die cracks coming off the corner of the Memorial have you come across? I mean, this stuff, it really is common. And even the spitting horse, if you have a spitting horse in a high grade, yeah, it commands a premium on eBay or something like that. But I mean, if you're active in these Facebook groups, you'll see that they're really common. People are finding them all the time. So I honestly, I don't even look for them. I don't look for the extra claw die tip on the Alaska quarter. So it's just too common for me. But
CJ brought up.
I started out finding that stuff, so that's what kind of got me into it,
Mm-hmm. CJ brought up the point of the 69D no FG. That used to be a big thing too, and now it's not a PCGS doesn't even recognize it anymore because it's so common. If you can find an old PCGS holder, then that in and of itself is valuable just because it's in at that time period where it was, being slabbed as a variety. But
Yeah, they're not slabbing them anymore. So the ones that
Oh.
exist, grab them.
Yeah.
I've said that so many times. The no FG, the missing designer's initials on the Kennedy half dollars, the floating roof. I mean, it's just a victim of die abrasion, really. So, in my opinion, I don't think it should even be classified as an error.
Well, I want to put in my 2 cents on both of those things real quick, if you don't mind. I think on the die crack and these other varieties that people find, and there's quite a bit more of them, and they're available. One, I think that it lacks a marketplace that's dedicated to those types of things. Okay, because I think if you had a marketplace, you would have trading and sales, and prices would adjust based on demand. Because I think there could be a demand for them, especially as the coins get older and age and turn into garbage, right? They'll become less just because they'll become less available just because of the quality of the coins are diminishing being in circulation. But do y'all agree with that, or have any counter?
Yeah. Shay, I actually do put that stuff aside. I have a special jar that I put those types of things in, and every once in a while I'll list them in like a bulk lot. So there is a demand for them. But you're right. I mean, if there was a marketplace specifically for that kind of stuff, I think we would notice that the prices or the demand might seem a little bit higher. Like I said, I mean, almost all of us got started finding that stuff, I think, and it's what piqued our curiosity a little bit. So,
Exactly.
Kind of bouncing off of Shay's point here, the biggest struggle, I know Ken has talked about this a lot, is there is no documentation site to go compare what you found to. So there's not as much information known about, should I keep this or not type of thing. Kind of sort of, because I did the 55 crack skull for the progression I'm working on. And when that hits publishing, there'll probably be a little bit of resurgence for people looking into these 55s with, retained interior die breaks that are most of the time looked over to. You can buy a nice 55 BU roll and you find cracked skulls galore. That die was just so overworked and just not treated the right way.
Jeffrey, let me ask you something. Have you, first of all, is there anything published that tells how many working dies were used for each year?
I can't find any.
Okay.
So
how have you noticed, or how many different dies have you recognized in your study for the 55 cracked
55
skull?
cracked skull. So I have 7 die pairs that I can pinpoint down. And then others that are just kind of loose, don't necessarily fit anywhere, don't match up with any known die markers, or maybe a 1 of or 2 of that possibly a reverse die got switched out. So there is no accurate way to pinpoint down all the working die pairs. But with the 55 cracked skull is intriguing, especially these 13 rolls that I got from Chuck Daughtry. Was interesting to be able to pinpoint down some die pairs in terms of, die markers, the way that crack forms, where it's at, where that die failure resides. And you'll see some trends. I mean, Paula was there with me when we were out in Washington, and I showed her some of the die progressions that you could line up and distinguish that they are. So it's tricky. Someone brought up a question before: is there any way to pinpoint down all the die pairs for, say, any of the wheat cent series? And the answer is no, simply because you're not going to have die markers on most of the coins anyway. So that's a really complex and complicated beast.
Yeah, if you're looking at 250,000 strikes per coin, per die. Let's see if I can get this one moment here. I gotta.
Yeah, the problem is though that's an average. So there's probably dies that were used and may have failed, you know, almost instantaneously.
Oh yeah.
So
and some
really
they stretch out and get every drop.
Yeah, I really wish there was a comprehensive list of how many working dies were used for each year. I think it'd be interesting to look at.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out why that 55 wasn't switched out like it should have been. Because this 55 should overlook, because everyone's just looking for that 55 major double die. You know, I picked up.
Look at the 57D. 57D is notorious for BIEs and filled numbers and filled letters. I mean, you know, it's funny how certain years have certain problems, and it's almost like they looked past it and just kept going anyway. You know,
government worked.
Do you think with the government's ability to keep meticulous records that maybe the U.S. Mint might be willing to share those records about those dies?
Oh, absolutely.
Well, if you want to chase it down, yeah, you can get that.
Well, we know plenty of people that have ties to the Mint, right? I mean, Mike Diamond, Ken Potter, I'm sure has ties to the Mint. Maybe even Chuck Daughtry. And who knows? I mean, you know, Dustin's always calling different places and talking to people, and they're always more than happy to give them information. So who knows? Maybe any one of us could call and get that info.
Yeah, I'm thinking. I have one other comment about what Smokey was saying, because I've actually recently had gone through the exercise of thinking about exactly the same thing. And his point was, when errors exceed normal, does normal become rare? And I believe the answer is yes, and there's proof in the different type reverses on the quarter. And I'm going to, for instance, the 1968S, where there was a master die doubling on the type G and the type F. But if you can find a 68S with a type E reverse that doesn't have the doubling from that same master die, then okay, now we're talking about something way more rare, because it's a die that wasn't used as much in the process, whereas the other one was used way more, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah, so that's just a lot of scarcity is what that comes down to.
Yeah, and it's funny, there's so many different instances of that. Like I've told people numerous times, for 1955, you got the poor man's double die. You'll probably find more of those than you will without the die deterioration doubling. The 69 missing the FG, I mean, and the floating roof. It's almost easier to find those than it is to find one with the full roof lines or a nice solid FG. So, yeah, you're right. I mean,
not to mention the MD on the obverse of the 69Ss.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Smokey says scarcity plus demand equals the price. The issue is the demand isn't quite there to where it could be. Maybe if, you know, some documentation was out there.
The problem is, though, even the ones that are more scarce than the others are still mass produced. So if anybody has ever collected baseball cards in the past, I mean, if you have cards from the 50s and maybe the early 60s, they're great. But once you start getting in the late 60s, 70s, 80s, they were just mass produced to the point where even a card that should be worth money isn't, because there's too many of them. They're not rare, you know?
Yeah, it's different between rarity and scarcity.
Yeah.
All right, I think we crushed that question.
Those are the type of questions I love. You got all of us talking and trying to think outside the box.
Yeah.
And me just rambling.
Oh no, that was awesome. Thanks, Rob Varieties. Appreciate that. Let's see. I think that was the last one from him. We've got something from Manning. Let me download this real quick. Says, I opened up a roll of 2004 Jefferson nickels, and I noticed that 6 out of the roll have the same mark on them. I'm wondering if it is a strike-through error or something else. I will have this up momentarily.
Oh, those mountains, Paula.
Aren't they pretty?
Oh my God, I could die there.
Wow, that is pretty awesome looking.
That's all around me. That's where all the fires were. See, all around. All the fires last year. I had fires all around my house.
Yikes.
Were any,
I didn't see the sun all summer long. What, Chris?
Were you in danger at all from any of them?
No, not really. I mean, we weren't supposed to leave our homes if we didn't have to, just because the smoke quality was so bad. But it would have to. I mean, I guess it could have been, but it would have had to go through all the way through town to get to me. So basically, it would have had to have been like the campfire or the Paradise campfire. It would have had to like burn the whole city down.
Wow.
But I mean, that happens. We saw it with the Paradise fire. So yeah, it was ugly. So I'm hoping that we got a lot of rain this year and some snow. And so I'm hoping that our fire season will be less this year, because it's 2 years in a row it was like that. So.
All right, check out the photos up now.
I do.
Okay, let me see what Shay's got up. Okay. What was the question again, Shay?
Well, he's found this on 6 of the coins and wondering, what is it? And is it a strike-through error or is it something else? He asks.
Do you have pictures farther out?
Yeah, I have no idea where
see this square? I see this all the time on a lot of the new quarters that I get, and nickels and dimes.
That's Greece. That's through Greece, almost guaranteed.
Greece, you said, Chris?
Greece.
I believe so. I'm with Shay. I see it more often on quarters than anything.
I wish it was valuable because I'd be rich.
I see those on the backs of shield cents a lot too. It's just this little area that just happens to be shinier than the rest.
Yeah.
And it does look like a very thin strike through.
Just a splash.
Chris, what's your theory on those, I don't even know what to call them, water spots or whatever they are on the 2019 on the W pennies?
What's that blue stuff you put in your dishwasher? Jet dry? I think they need to add that to their rinsing solution.
The rinsing solution just didn't get rinsed all the way.
Well, think about this when you wash your car, right? When you wash your car and you let it just air dry, you always, the water kind of dissipates and it turns into these little water droplets towards the end before it's all gone, right?
Right.
So the longer it takes for that water to dissipate, the more dirt it's going to catch in the air. And as it dries, it allows that dirt then to stick to your car. So when you wash your car in the summertime and it dries, you're going to have spots on it from pollen and dirt in the air. I think it's the same concept on the coins.
On the exact same spot on so many coins,
And I don't know why that is. I really can't explain that. It could be part of the drying process, or I really don't know. But I don't really pay attention to stuff like that because to me, it's just a normal part of the process.
Yeah.
Well, machine shops are notoriously
strange, It just seems strange to me because it seemed like it was on the first run of them. The people who ordered the proof set later on, they didn't have the issue on their coins as the people who ordered them, like say on the first day or couple days. So
Yeah, it reminds me.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So in high school, I worked back at the machine shop, and the coolant fluid that we used was kind of like that. So I think it's just a wash, and that's just that little bit that sits on that coin, as Chris is saying.
Yeah. And the thing is, we're not there in the facility.
Right.
We don't really know the details. That whatever solution they're using to rinse it with, I'm sure comes from a third-party company. You know, they could have certain amount of chemicals in it. It may not have been mixed right. I mean, there's so many variables to it. It's just
because they use some kind of acid too, or something, don't they?
Probably tap water.
Somewhere in the process. So could it be like an etching, like an acid, like an etching on the coin, or?
I'm not really
I know,
sure.
it's got me, I know. I'm very intrigued by it. I don't know why. Probably because I have one or 3.
Do yours all have the spots, Paul?
In the exact same spot, like 10 and 3 or 10 and 2, somewhere around there. Yep.
Cindy says send him some Rain-X. Yeah.
Rain-X, I know.
So the question I would ask myself when looking at that would be, how did they mint those coins? Did they mint them the same exact way as they do the normal business strike coins? Or did they put a little more care into them, almost maybe like a special mint set type of care, not quite a proof type of care, if that makes sense? And are they coming down a belt and being dried so that maybe there's a little bit of air jet pushing the liquid to one side of the coin? I mean, unless you're there watching the whole process from beginning to end, I don't think we're ever really going to truly figure it out. But
yeah,
at the end of the day, I think it's just a spot, and it's an anomaly, and it is definitely strange that it always dries in the same spot. But there could be a really simple explanation for it, to be honest with you.
There is a human element involved. You know, who was in the mint that day working? Was it near a holiday and the experts were out?
The interns took over.
The temps.
Kind of sounds like PCGS when they give the interns proof points to grade. And they goof them all up. Yeah, watch them proof coins. They ship them right to the interns.
Those are all the first day issues. First strike.
But I don't know what I'm doing. Just put a slab on it.
Flip a coin.
Just put a 69 on it and just call it a day. But there's others 50, 60 proofs. You're going to watch in some of those holders because some of those are graded by interns and the grades aren't good.
I'm convinced they have a dartboard.
A dartboard. Well, I'm convinced that some of them are graded before they even receive them.
Oh, yeah. You know what, Paul? There's no doubt. There's big-time dealers that send such large bulk submissions that you can't tell me they're not getting preferential treatment. There's no way.
20%, 69 decams, 35% 70s. Yeah.
Hundreds of thousands.
I have heard from the horse's mouth itself what percentage they grade what. Before they even see those coins, in essence, what they do is a certain percentage is going to get a 70, a certain percentage is going to get a 69. And what they do is they glance through them real quick. If there's anything major to kick down to 68, they do that. But it's all a percentage system. Now my alarm's going off. It's just a percentage system on those modern mass-produced items. I buy 69.
It's still being done by people, so it's very subjective. You can have 10 different people grading the same coin, and you might get 2 or 3 different grades out of those 10 people. There's no. Are you guys in the group called Z-Man's Coin Club? Is anybody in that group? There's a guy in there that wants to try to automate the grading system. Because he believes that our current grading system, no matter who the company is severely flawed. I kind of agree with some of his points, but he pushes them a little too hard. I'm not a fan of grading at all. I mean, I don't know. I think a lot of it is a gimmick. You know, the whole first strike thing is a joke, and There's so many different things about it that I just don't like. It's just, and then okay, it's not good enough to get your coin graded. Now let's send it off and get a CAC sticker on it, and then now you can send it to a third company to even do another thing. It's just everybody's trying to make money off the same coin, and I just think it's ridiculous.
Well, the reliance on these third-party graders has removed a lot of skill, right? You'd have to, back in the day, if you wanted to look at a coin and decide how much it's worth, you had to grade the thing yourself. Nowadays, just send it in. You should send that to PCGS. It doesn't matter what it is. Send it to PCGS. I got a couple of coins. I'm going to find them right now. I'm going to show you this.
Keep the man the fish.
Where'd I put them?
One thing that bothers me a little bit is I don't know how they're marketing it or how people read about it, but some of the newer collectors, they'll say, I found this error. Should I send it off to get it graded? And maybe it's a really cool, okay, let's say it's a 72 double die, which I don't even get into the whole variety thing with them because I just don't think they're ready for it yet. But so, okay, you found a nice 1972 double die, but it's well circulated. So they say, should I get it graded? Well, why? If you can look on a website and match it up and you know exactly what double die it is, you don't need somebody else to tell you what it is. You already know what it is, right? And it's definitely not a high grade. I think grading is for that purpose, to submit a coin that you think is in a high grade that sets it apart from the rest, not because it's a variety or error. Just my 2 cents.
I got 2 cents. Let me show you these. Ready? Oh.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's not it.
I talk a lot.
Kind of bouncing off of Chris's comments there. This was one of tonight's discussions. Why do you think is the reason new collectors have such a hard time grasping varieties and errors?
They don't understand the mint process.
Yeah.
They're not doing the homework. Here's one of the, you can see the photo here. The guy sent this in because somebody said, you should send that in. So he sent it in. And it's a 1999D MS63 Brown. But he can't find the value on the thing anywhere. I said, just look at the back because it's right there on the coin.
Yeah.
There it is, 1 cent. But it's not just the one. He had another one. This is a 1983 MS63 Red Brown. This is pocket change. And he's got, 20, 30, 40 bucks into getting it certified slabbed.
And here's where the grading companies should kick it up a notch. Stop taking the people's money. Clearly, the guy doesn't know what he's doing. And he got some bad advice, and they just robbed him. They robbed 80 bucks right out of his pocket for coins that should not be in a slab.
What he just said.
True that.
Oh,
Frank, I see what you did there. Showing off now, huh?
Yeah.
It comes down to a little thing called ethics that me and Paula had a wonderful discussion with Tim Rathjen about. The lack of ethics in this coin industry. The lack of ethics. It's sickening. Sickening.
You guys feel like you go to a coin show that the dealers think that you have no idea what you're doing, right? So I go to a coin show. I'm like a real casual guy. I wear T-shirts and jeans and shorts. I go to a coin show. I'm wearing a hoodie, and I'm just walking around buying stuff. I always look around first to see what everybody has, and then I start going to the dealers where I want to try to make the deals, and you can just tell that they don't think I know anything, right? And it's kind of sad because their prices are usually way above what they should be. They have no clue what they're talking about when it comes to varieties or errors. And it's an instant turnoff for me, and then I end up going to somebody else. Does anybody else have that same experience?
I get that all the
I
time.
use that to my advantage. I'm going to look through their stock and just smile and ask a few silly questions. But now, if they actually know what they're doing, then okay, now I can have some interesting conversation. But most of them don't want to deal with varieties. It's not worth their time, in their opinion.
We saw firsthand at the coin show in Bellingham, one specific dealer there selling coins as varieties that were not varieties at all. We didn't feel comfortable. It was very small, and we were guests there, and we didn't feel comfortable coming right out and telling him anything. But he did approach Jeffrey at one point, and he brought one over to us to look at, and we verified
So I asked,
what it was.
because it was a 1909S, so I wanted to look at it. They claimed to be an RPM. I wanted to look underneath the scope. It turned out it was not an RPM. So it's like, sorry, this doesn't match any of the records for the RPM, and he wasn't too happy, but oh well. I told him it wasn't one of the two or three RPMs that are known for that 09S RPM. You have a horizontal, and then you have what, a south?
Yeah, you know what's funny? I bought a 1909S off of Tim Rathjen, and it ended up being an RPM. It was number 2, I believe. Man, was I pumped.
I bought one from him. I bought one from him that was listed as an RPM, and I got that thing super cheap.
I got a 1910S, Chris, at the coin show, simply because it was a beautiful wood grain. And I brought it home and looked at it under my scope, and it was the inverted.
Ooh, nice.
FS 102, I think.
So the dealer I talked to, he had a number of varieties in his case, and he actually had a 1946 Roosevelt dime DDR, and it was nice. You know, it was really cool variety, and the fact that the writing said double D reverse on it kind of made me feel a little ill. But the next thing I saw was his price tag on it, and normally those things you have to get in order to be over $100. You pretty much need to have a mint state coin. You could barely see the lines on the fascia. I mean, on the torch. And they're definitely not bands. And this guy's selling it for $110. And I go, he looked at me and he says, "What do you think?" And I said, "Well, I could offer you $40." And he snagged it out of my hand and stuck in the case and said, "No way." I'm like, okay. Walked away. But he just thinks he can sell, you know, it is a nice variety. It's beautiful. It's cool. You got splits. It's very clear. It's a double die reverse. But $110 for a VF, you know, no.
1,000 times.
What?
1,000 times no.
Yeah.
Kind of going back to the question about the reason why new collectors have such a hard time grasping variety snares. I think it comes down to the modern education system, and the way it's set up to where you just
no critical thinking skills.
No critical thinking, and the focus is on the end and not how to get there. So it comes down to not knowing the minting process, not knowing machine doubling versus double dies versus, you know, the difference between a variety versus an error and things of that nature. So I pinpoint that down to the modern education system was just not thinking and just not studying and experiencing the road to get to those varieties and errors.
Well, another problem is that they think that they post pictures up on the Facebook groups and they want everybody to tell them what they have, as opposed to doing the research themselves. You know, they want to know if they have something or not, and that's all they want to know. You know, what is it? Yeah, like Ken says, what is it? What's it worth and where can I sell it?
Another thing is Sky brought this up when he commented on Ken's post. Everybody's just, when they first start, is just looking for the big one in essence, and not, so they're looking for this big one, not understanding exactly what they're looking for, and they find all these little odds and ends stuff that they think are special now, that since they only thing they know is this big hard variety that you're most likely never going to find in circulation. Prime example is the 69S that everyone's looking for. What, there's 33 known of that double die?
Hey, that Megan girl found one.
Yeah.
Wasn't there somebody
saying,
in the Facebook groups just like last week that posted one?
Yep, there was another one that was recently found. I don't remember who it was, but yeah,
and it was in nice shape, really nice shape.
Well, I'm just saying the probability of finding that, and that's what everybody focuses on, and then they find all these little odds and ends and just don't know what they're doing to begin with. And it's unfortunate, and then they get the bad advice from the toxic people in these groups, especially some of these groups. I've left quite a few groups just because of people not knowing what the hell they're talking about, passing on bad information. See ya, I'm out of there. I want nothing to do with that type of stuff.
That's so hard to control, too. I mean, there's a couple groups I'm in where we have all comments must be approved by admins, and it sucks for the people that do know what they're doing because they can't get their stuff out there right away, but it's the only way to control it, and it's sad. And then people get mad and think, oh, the admins are on a power trip and all this other stuff. It's not that. It's just you try to keep that information from bleeding in, or you don't want the whole page filled with parking lot pennies. I mean, it's just
you get 4 or 5 people who tell the person exact same thing, what know your coin's just MD, and you get one person on there that tells them what they want to hear.
Yeah, I worship that answer.
And that's the person they believe.
Yeah.
What I've come across recently, and is a prime example, is there was a person in one of these odds and ends groups that had a struck through a late stage die cap nickel that was nice. So I commented and I said, this is what this is. Here's an article to go find some information on it. And then this other guy that was an ANA Gold member somehow basically told me I was wrong.
That's how.
Well, I did. I did. There was a couple, and I did. And like and the funny part is he was swearing it was a dryer coin. And the funny part is they linked Christopher Rhodes' article about dryer coins.
Yeah, baby.
So at least they had a good source, but they were off, and I got called every name under the sun telling me I was wrong. I'm young, I don't know my stuff. All that happy fun junk.
Jeffrey, somebody did that. Chris and I were talking about that. Somebody did that to Chuck the other day. Was arguing with him and posted copper coins. It was hysterical. It was so funny. They're like, well, copper coins. Look, I cross-referenced it to copper coins, and it matched. And he's like, hello. Oh my gosh, that was hysterical.
Go scroll down to the bottom of copper coins, Chuck Daughtry.
I know the owner personally.
Right? It was so funny. She's like, you should do your research.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, just like the people that argue with Ken Potter.
Oh.
I'll say this about Ken. He's pretty timid, though. He doesn't try to fight with people. He'll tell him, he'll tell him what it is, and if they start arguing, he just ignores it. And props to him for doing that, because I just can't do that.
But they still question him, though.
Yeah, I know.
They still question him, though.
Because they're not getting the answer they want. That's
exactly.
I think the best thing we can do, and the only really the only thing we can do and the best thing we can do is give them an answer and post links that they can go look at. If they read what the information that we give them out there and they still don't believe it, that's on them, you know. And none of us are right.
Any more emails?
Time, you know. So, but
No.
it is frustrating.
You've got a great coin there. It must be worth $10,000. Take it to your coin dealer right now.
Yep, he'll
And one thing Amber and Jess and I experienced, and I talked to Christopher about this a while ago, is that we can answer some of these posts and they will argue until, you know, the ends of the earth with us. But as soon as Christopher comes on there, or Ken, or one of the other guys, and answers and says, oh, so Jess was right or Amber was right, okay, thanks.
Yeah. You know, I mean, and I feel like I'm always going to bat for certain people, and it's a shame.
Yeah, and I'm not pulling the girl card, but I'm pulling the girl card.
No.
What I mean.
No, and you have a right to, because I do see it firsthand. I mean, I'm always, if I ever come across a post like that, I definitely comment on it because it's not right. And you know, a lot of these people are new; they don't know, and I can see both sides of it, right? You know, I'm a new guy. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm talking about. I joined this group. I don't know who is who. I don't know who knows what they're doing. And what you got in your piggy bank?
I got this from Panda Express.
So, you know, I can see them questioning things. I get it. I was very curious myself when I started out. Luckily, I met Ken Potter almost right away and Chuck Daughtry almost right away. And I learned most of my stuff from those guys. You know, Chuck is obviously the go-to guy for Lincolns. There's nobody better than him for Lincolns. But Ken Potter's knowledge on everything else is just phenomenal. And, you know, I've had many private conversations with him. I've talked on the phone with him for hours and hours on end. He's a really nice guy, and he's willing to share that information. And that's why I do what I do as well, because I want to share that information too. There's a lot of people that don't want to. Like, I don't want to drop any names, but there's some guys out there that are experts and who have written many articles, and they're just not very people friendly. And I think that's wrong. So,
hey, I stayed at a Holiday Inn Express.
Shut up, Shay.
Had to drop it.
Shay, was there any more emails?
Not yet. We've got some of Paula's in here. What were those, Paula?
Oh, no. Ken can explain that.
Oh, we were testing the Looksy app to see if that would put out a good quality photo that we could talk about easily. And yeah, it worked pretty well. Now, one of them was kind of fuzzy. I think she was just kind of excited and getting a quick photo, but it was at 10S and it was a peach to look at. But the Looksy app, you can get this at the App Store. It works on your cell phone. It'll help you set up, you know, easily take a picture of a coin, and you can send it in. Now, we had some problem directly sending it from the app to email, so it needs a little bit of tweaking there as far as, you know, save it and then forward it. But it puts out a good quality image that makes it easy for us to talk about. And let's just pull that up.
Yeah, I had to send it to my email and then forward it to the Check My Coin email.
You know what to do with that? If you just send that feedback to Tim.
Yeah, I'm going to.
That's an easy fix.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if it was the because it sent it right to my email. So I'm not sure if there's something wrong with the Check My Coin. If there's something, if it's flagged it or what, I'm not sure. But I tried like 4 or 5 times, and
I've got that 1910S right up here in front of me. What's happening here?
Beautiful.
There.
I just put there's an actual Facebook page dedicated just for the Look-Z app, and it'll and tell you all about it. There's an actual like tutorial on it. So,
Yeah,
but it is a great. If you have a problem taking pictures of your coins, it's another option for you. So
it'll crop them, rotate them, put them side by side so we can see the front and the back.
Now, I will tell you, if you want to just take a picture of an area of your coin, it does not save it on the Look-Z app, but it does save it to your photos. I found that out.
So you can attach it to the email you send with the Look-Z attachment.
Yes. Well, on your photos, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, keep an eye on that. It can and will probably become a premier tool for a coin collector. We're putting out photos, sharing them left and right in groups on video. It's only going to be a more powerful tool as time goes by. So please get it and learn it. I get it, but I don't have cell phone service out here, so.
Well, now it's worth it now, isn't it, Ken? Isn't just for that alone, you should go get a cell phone. I think you would get service out there. I think
a cell phone.
Right.
And you don't need service if you got Wi-Fi, buddy.
It's time to retire the bat phone, man.
Okay, so there's no more emails. The other question I had for tonight is, what area of the hobby is lacking easily obtainable information, and why do you think this is, and what can we do to fix that?
Well, there's no single reference, all right? And then there's duplicate references. So a single reference with a good standard naming convention or a numbering system, a standardized numbering system with good photos that are high quality, with the ability to have people contributing photos so that you can get the different die stages, I think would make a phenomenal addition to the whole hobby.
I think there needs to be a resource out there for, I mean, there's very little out there on non-error coins, on parking lot coins, things like that people see all the time. And I think if there was a resource that they could go to that had just pictures and pictures, like when they go on Facebook and we say that's a dryer coin, that, I mean, Christopher has that, but for like, that's a parking lot.
All you got to do is share my blog.
Huh?
I have so many. All you got to do is share my blog. I actually documented a bunch of different types of damaged coins that you're going to come across in.
I only knew about your dryer coin. I didn't know that you had other ones.
Oh yeah, I actually have a bunch of visuals I made up on PowerPoint, and it goes from fake clip planchets, parking lot pennies. Oh yeah, yeah.
Then I retract my statement. I think your blog is actually on Ken's 1 Million Penny Project.
It is. It's linked in the blog roll.
Jessica was doing a really good job for a while promoting my blog for me, which she did out of the kindness of her own heart. I never asked her to do that for me.
Awesome doing that
but
stuff.
She's been kind of busy now. I think she's been helping Chuck a lot. So
you know what? Now that I know that that's all out there, I'm going to go on and read it all, and I'm going to promote the crap out of it for you, Christopher. I think that's fantastic. These people need to have that. You need to have that.
I've got enough.
I did the.
I don't even see you promoting your own blog. What are you talking about? Why aren't you throwing it out there?
Did you ever see those old coin banks that had the screw tops on them, and they actually told you how much money was in the tube? He's out there to have that circular damage in the center of the coin, and that's usually what the cause is. I have a visual for that. I mean, I got a lot of stuff.
Nickels.
Yeah, a lot of nickels.
A lot of nickels.
Yep. I mean, I'll give my answer to this question. I think one area of lack is something that I've kind of drifted towards now, and only starting to finish out something to aid that is a concise, descriptive, and pictorial example of a die progression and die trends. I think that's one of the biggest lacking things, and if you can understand some of that, at least a little bit of die progressions and trends, some of this right and error stuff just ticks over to becoming that higher of a level of numismatist and searcher and just mismatch finding coins.
So real quick, what Ken's showing on his thing is Christopher's blog.
Yeah, adventure.
I
did
know you did the coin roll thing, and I think I sent you a picture for one of your. Was it the which one was it that I sent you the picture of?
I have no idea, but look at all those beautiful visuals. Look at that.
Look at those.
Hey, there's that screw top bank.
Oh, I did send you one for your coin roll crimper damage, and I sent you one for the nickel for the wood grain type.
Okay, the Woody, yeah.
Yeah. That's right.
That was a washing machine coin.
No, that's the Ring of Death.
That's the Ring of Death.
No, the previous one, not the Ring of Death. The previous one.
Oh.
That's one that was in the washing machine.
Oh, that one there?
No, Ken's flipping through them too quick. The one right below the.
Oh no, that one was. Nah, that's not a dryer coin. That's someone.
Washing machine. I see a lot of those like that, where they get ground like that in the washing machine. They get stuck between the drum and the wall.
There.
Right there, yeah. That's consistent with the coins come out of the washing machine. It gets stuck in between that drum and something else, and it just shaves off part of the coin.
Well, if you take one of those out and rub it on your porch briefly on both sides, you get the same result. And all it does is it sands the face flat.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah,
and it could happen in a washing machine too. I mean,
the parking lot coins, they could have been in a garbage disposal.
Yeah. It's just a term that people associate with that specific type of damage.
We've all dropped coins in our garbage disposal before.
I haven't, but I did.
We're rinsing them off.
I did drop a fork in there already.
Mine go in my dishwasher.
Go to that screw top bank there, Ken. Maybe Paula can. There you go. Look at that.
Yeah.
Isn't that beautiful?
What the?
Yeah.
The coin above shows some sort of rotational damage, most likely from an antique coin saver tube as seen here. Oh yeah, these were big in the 50s. It's stamped metal, folded.
I've never seen that.
These tubes would keep track of the value of the coins held within them. And you can see the markings and graduations and looks at a little window to see where it's filled to. Only when the tube was full,
down and unscrew it
by turning the screw clockwise until the coins came out the bottom.
Yep, I have one of those.
And that's what.
And those photos of that coin saver tube are courtesy of Jody Gomez.
Oh, nice.
It's amazing. I can't remember how old I am, but I can remember where that photo came from.
I had a little snip, photo courtesy of Jody Gomez.
Some Jody Gomez.
Yep. The B&R Manufacturing Company of New York.
Yep.
It is.
Oh, far out.
That's a nice one, actually. I like that.
No screw. Probably a spring somewhere.
Weren't no Phillips heads back then either.
No.
Forks or anything.
Yeah, Sky, Error Ref. We talk about Error Ref a lot. Error Ref, but it just doesn't have enough pictures. That's my only problem.
Hey, Paula, which one of those coins is yours?
Of what you're looking at right now?
Yeah, did you send me that, or did you send me a real Woody?
I sent you a nickel. I sent you a nickel, and I sent you one with coin roll.
Uh-oh, I may not have used that.
Yeah, I don't know if you used it or not. You were just asking for them, so I sent them to you. Whether you used them or not, I don't know.
Hey, back to our original question, what's lacking in the hobby? How about more comprehensive listings for Kennedy $half double dies?
Hello. Hey, right there.
How about that?
Hey. You need to go to manticcoins.com. I'll put that link up.
You're muted, Jay.
There you go. Coin variety list right here on the Mentic Coins.
Got it?
You click on varieties, and you will get his error and variety
He's
list.
working on it.
And click on that button where it says Kennedy $50, and this happens.
And Christopher, you should watch his YouTube show, especially Saturdays. We do coin roll hunting where people can purchase, the typical, the other shows do. However, he looks at every coin under the scope. Certain dates he picks out that he, known varieties, and he looks at them under the scope. So not only do people get the silver and the NIFCs that are found in the rolls, but they get double dies, RPMs, die cracks, retain cuts. I mean, everything that they find, and it's fantastic.
Living together.
So you should watch Saturday nights, Mantic Coins. Watch them because it's great.
I will do my best to try to watch some stuff. Okay, I'm a hard guy to have some free time. I'll tell you that.
I know you are.
Oh, there's sand. There's sand.
Okay, this is behind the scenes. This is the database we're using, and this the $50. Shay has taken this and run with it. And let's see, 1964 starts right up here. Okay, and we're just going to scroll down here. You got several obverse die varieties, and then of course you have some reverse die varieties. You get the regular hair, the flared G.
Is that SDDO for Shay DDO?
Standard. That's the standard database.
No, I remember, Ken. I was just messing.
There you go. And we may have to rename it the Shay database because he's put so much work into this. Let me tell you. But we're getting references, cross references where they're available to Konica Wexler. Let's see, anything possible we can cross reference and get it right. What are we at? 68, 69. He's gotten up to what? 71, 72. Okay, 71 is where he's working at right now.
So are these only ones that are already listed on other websites?
Yes.
Some. He's been adding his own, but well, they're later on, and they're not yet confirmed.
So I've been
the reason I'm asking is because that's kind of what my point was when I was looking for a more comprehensive list of double dies, because there's so many that people show that it's clearly double or triple dies, and they're not listed anywhere. There's so many of them.
When you find one of those, when you see one of those, you should send that to Shay. Send the photos and stuff to Shay so he can look at it and add it.
I am putting photos to ones that they don't have on Variety Vista, and I'm also finding that some of the listings that Konica have are just copy and paste descriptions for multiple years.
Mm-hmm.
So they're inaccurate, right? And I want to fix those, but it's taking a while to get all the photos of all the different varieties and determine, is this an early stage or a late stage or mid stage or, but there's no picture to reference. So I have to figure it out.
Jeffrey, can you answer a question in chat, Jeffrey?
Yes. So Circle was asking about the Cintern planchets. Okay, so most of your Cintern planchets are going to be your late 50s, say 59, 58. I think there's scarcer in the 56. In the center planchet, in essence, what happened is planchets were made, and somehow they got into some center powder for a different. I forget what denomination they were using, center powder at the time. So in essence, what happened is prior to this planchets getting annealed, that centered planchet got on there. In essence, it's just a code of that after that those planchets got annealed, that centered powder just baked out of that coin. And in essence, that's just why they get that darker color. That's the from the material I have. That was the explanation I've always got.
The thing about those is how can you actually determine if that's what you really have? Like the improperly annealed coins and the centered planchets. I mean, I'm a metal detector as well, and I dig up coins like that all the time. And if you put one that is a known sintered planchet next to one that I dug up metal detecting, it's almost impossible to tell the difference. Is there any way? Go ahead.
You can. You have to have a very particular eye to it. That's going to come down to a lot of those are going to have some pitting to them that come out of the ground, something of that nature. So that's something that you have to really, really closely get into those services and exactly see exactly what's the cause of that. Most sintered planchets are going to be high grades for the most part because most of those rolls were pulled and saved. There's a lot of different aspects.
Kennedy half that has the same thing.
That's an
idea. Let's all pitch in and buy Ken and a kneeling oven.
I was thinking a better tool would be something like a spectrograph.
Yeah, I think Ken ought to auction off his shirt collection, and I bet you he could raise the money for that oven.
So that sintered planchet is going to be a little different than an improperly annealed. So in essence, an improperly annealed is the temperature that they go to anneal these coins isn't the right thing, and a lot of times, especially with these nickels, is the metals start to defuse and refuse in essence, and you get these striations. So that's what that improperly annealed. You will see a good example is early Jefferson nickels. Those are highly known for that improperly annealed planchet. A lot of times you'll get them that are a lot of the times you will get them to where they have orange or red streaks through them. There's early Jefferson nickels. That's the number one, and Buffalo nickels also.
Yeah, I actually found a Kennedy half with the same issue, Christopher. Well, two, but we're not really sure about the one, but the other one for sure.
Yeah, that thing was cool.
I actually should send you a picture of that, Shay.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, I got to look at those in hand. The one on the back kind of it has a very distinctive silver area. It looks like some heat was applied to it. But the other one for sure is an improperly annealed planchet, which I've never seen on a modern clad Kennedy half.
Shay, Amber wanted to know if your listings are being cross-checked to see if they match the master double dies.
I think that's important to do. I commented back to her that
you did.
She got it right. I mean, that needs to be done for sure. That's one reason why I haven't posted all the pictures I have of, DDO 1 through 17 on the 71 DDO list that Coinq&a has.
Can anyone check to see if there's any more emails?
Hey guys, I'll be right back. I got to take off.
All right.
There is
All
one.
right.
We got one in just now.
Sky Smiths.
I'm pulling it up here in just a second.
Okay,
Just while watching, listening. Love the Q&A. Cool.
Can you tell how many people are watching?
24.
Nice.
Be sure to smash that like button for Jeff Shumar, and don't forget to subscribe to his channel. We move this show from one channel to the next each week, and the whole idea is to expose people to some really good channels with great content. Seriously, don't forget to hit that bell too.
Thank you guys for all the nice words. I appreciate all that attention. Thank you. All right.
You'll get my bell.
Yeah, just found this while watching and listening. Love the Q&A. So let's see.
Ooh, nice. Nice clash.
That's a clash right there. That's a jailbird Lincoln.
Yeah.
Well, the jailbird, it's a vernacular term. People tend to name things, give them nicknames, if you will. And it's a reverse die that has clashed with the obverse die. And what you're seeing are the bays in the memorial that have left an impression on the obverse die. And here it is. But it's really neat when some really strong ones are going to have these bars all the way across both sides. Looks like a poor agent in jail.
What I find intriguing about this one specifically is the fact that you can't see any clash marks from the obverse die on the reverse. Just like the machine doubling only affecting one portion of the coin, I also, well, I guess there could be a little bit right there. Yeah, maybe there is.
Day 2 has a little bit.
I've seen a lot of times on the modern shield sense, you'll see the clash on the obverse. You got the lines behind the neck, the line coming off the tip of the nose. It's a really strong clash on the obverse, and then you flip the coin around, and there's no evidence of any clash on the reverse. And it's just, there could have been a die change, but I've found so many like that. I find it hard to believe that all of them had a reverse die change on them. So it's just odd to me that one shows up on the other, but not the other way around, if that makes sense.
Well, the dies are fairly consistent, but it's not a perfect thing. The dies aren't purely hard, and they're not one as hard as the next die. There are impurities in the metal, and there can be some softening going on. So one die can be a little softer than the next and receive an impression a little easier.
My theory on the reason why you get a lot more obverse is that hammer die is a moving part in essence compared to your anvil die. So a lot of times you will see your obverse deteriorate before your reverse, from what I've seen at least. So that hammer die is just a lot weaker, more susceptible. It's more willing to take that clash compared to the reverse. At least that's the theory that I've always thought of. But guys have any opinion on that at least?
I don't know. I mean, I would think they both are under the same amount of pressure, even though one's moving and one's fixed. It's just like crashing your car. You have energy coming to a stop, and it's distributed evenly both ways. I don't know. It is
the same force, but that force is going to go to where it's going to try to escape at the weakest point in those dies. And in most cases, that's going to be that anvil die that's coming down, and it's a lot weaker than that reverse die.
Paula, that energy
field, there's a lot more field. It's my second. There's a lot more field on the obverse too. So, you don't
more
have
area
the areas that'll flow into. So
true.
Like you can see, sometimes they're a lot more stronger, and but. This one's this is a nice one, but it's not as strong as some of them I've seen, but you have more flat field on the obverse and let the metal to flow into.
Another thing to point out is I don't think this is necessarily a common date to have these. I mean, just like we said before, certain dates are susceptible to certain things. I probably have 15 1983 die clashes in my collection, and they're all different. I don't know if I've actually ever seen one. What is this, a 75D?
73.
73.
75.
Yeah, did you guys see what Brian Patrick just commented in the chat?
Oh, now
Brian Patrick said some of the
75.
Some of the hammer energy is absorbed by the planchette and not transferred to the anvil die.
See, Brian should have stayed on.
Well, on a cloud, there's no planchet.
Yeah, there's no planchet when that strikes through. They're going to
However,
come down to some die deterioration stuff too.
Russell and Patrick bring up the idea that the way the dies come together when there is a planchet in between, the forces on each individual die is different because a hammer die comes down and strikes that planchet first. So the wear on the dies is different. So maybe that's what's making it go away on the back.
That's my theory, at least.
That makes good sense.
Oh, we got one from Trey. Let me go ahead and download this.
What you looking at, Ken?
A bunch of stuff. I got that sack of picks. I've got some mechanical doubling on a quarter. What's this one? The 2015 British surrender.
Yeah, it's that one, yeah.
And you get that little die chip right between the thumb of the finger and the top of that sword. That's a common one to find.
Now, these are known for doubling in the arm cuff, correct?
Right down in there. That's where you're looking. I don't have a pick. Here's one. Yeah, you're looking in these spaces, inside these voids. This is where the doubling is. And I'm going to give that bit just a little more attention. I'm not, well, maybe I might be hopeful on that bit right there. But this would be a minor doubling. This is what I wanted to find. Was that
the die chip in between the finger and the hilt? Yeah.
Yeah. And people keep them.
They also get them right there on the little round part of the handle and the fingertips, the longer fingers.
A little bit here.
Yeah, right there. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, chips and dies, you can find them. They're out there.
Can you zoom out on that coin, Ken?
What's that?
Can you zoom out on that coin?
How far out you want to go?
Just
I throw it across the field. There you go.
Okay. I've seen
you
what
can find chips and dies. They're out there. They're not particularly common, and they're not particularly well saved and collected, especially in high grades. So, are they going to offer value in the future? Maybe. We'll see how far the hobby goes. But this one you can probably find. Yeah, this is really starting to look like die deterioration in here, though. But this is where you want to hunt for those double dies. Look right to the center of the coin. There, this British surrender, 2015. Here's the losers. Here's the winners.
Hey, Ken, here's a good question for you. Because you are a man of, a vast array of knowledge, right? So the coin says British surrender 1777. Why do we celebrate our independence based on 1776?
That's when we declared it. We were independent on that day.
We were independent before the British knew we were.
Yes.
They had not yet accepted our declaration. We had to force it upon them.
Okay.
It was actually the Treaty of Paris in 1781 where
I knew you knew details about this. That's why I asked.
Oh, this is wonderful history here. This is not actually where it all starts. It all starts, decades and centuries before when the Europeans first started to settle the New World. They were under the thumb of oppression from the previous governments who wanted to exploit. It wasn't so much the people. They were looking to get away from all that. It was the governments that wanted to exploit the New World and derive wealth and power from the wealth that it generated. And to do that, well, you needed a labor force. Then comes into slavery. They needed stuff. They needed the land cleared. They needed the lumber. They had to get the stuff from point A to point B. In comes your shipbuilding. The entire colonies was all about creating wealth for European governments. Meanwhile, the people living here wanted nothing to do with that. They just wanted to raise their kids, grow crops, and go to church.
Yep.
Seriously.
Yeah, so when they so there are two batch of times as to when the founding fathers were very treasonous by definition. First of all, when they first declared independence, every single one of them could have easily been, beheaded by the king at least. The second time, would have been when they switched from the Articles of Confederation to the Constitution we have now. So we were under technically the Articles of Confederation for a good while, and the system didn't work correctly. In essence, there was just too much state power. So they were treasonous again by overthrowing the Articles of Confederation and switching to the Constitution. A little fun fact.
Those 24 people watching just got your history lesson for the day.
Mhm.
I'm a history nut, so there's a lot more.
It was the needs to create a unified colonial government that ensured there would be a civil war. In order for the northern colonies and the southern colonies to come together, you had to ignore the issue of slavery. Had to. You could not do it with slavery being an issue. So it was left out. It was ignored. And this ensured the separation coming in the 1850s and Civil War in 1861.
Okay, what do we got here today?
I got something from Trade Treasures, and he wants to know if this is a double die.
Boy, this one is interesting looking, isn't it?
What denomination is this?
This is a Franklin half dollar, 1961.
61. Franklin.
Proof.
You know, I was leaning towards machine doubling until I looked at, if you zoom back out a little bit, the U in United almost also shows a separation line on the bottom of it. No, the U in United.
Oh.
U on the left. You see the bottom of the U almost shows a separation line there as well.
Yeah, because the listings are a lot. They're a lot fatter. There's a clear definition of line, and these lines don't go all the way across.
Yeah. Left side of the U in Pluribus looks thicker.
The right side of that U is what catches me a little off guard. Is you have the thickness
split.
Oh, you have the thickness in that right side of that U, and then it just disappears down towards the bottom, and that's the same length as on what's on that L as well.
Yep.
You have thickness, and it thins down into an almost a dip there, and then it proceeds back, and then it goes back up to above that position, and the top of that U is really, really thick.
So that would be class what?
I would like to see a picture of another one.
Well, I wanted to see the tail feathers on the eagle, but just to see some more pictures of this one. I'd like to see more of United, kind of like Chris was talking about.
If you look at the second dot, right of a E.
Trey said he sent the eagle tail.
Oh, cool.
I almost think this is a class 1 double die, which is the rotated hub. That would explain why the doubling is more prominent at the top of the letters as opposed to the bottom. Okay, Paula, now you're just showing off.
I had to light my fire pit, sorry. It's a little chilly out here. And I'm eating potato chips, and I didn't want everybody to see me.
I don't. Well.
Oh.
No, I don't see what I was looking for. I was looking for doubling across all of these tail feathers and feet. So this isn't. Oh, oh man, that's a good looking eagle though. It's hardly any
I'd just
anywhere.
like to see another picture of one,
It's a proof though.
you know, a normal one or whatever, to make sure that that's not just like a, you know, the proof strikes and that's not just a normal design.
Well, I tell you what, a really nice site out there is Franklin Lovers, www.franklinlover.yolasite.com. Let me post that real quick.
I got it. Oh, you got it.
Oh boy.
Can anybody do a side by side, or is that too much?
No, I can't.
I'm
I'm lucky I'm able to look at this website.
Let's see.
I got 37 windows open. I got to find it. There it is.
No, it's bought a box of quarters today. So he's looking, he had a ton of new Lowell quarters in there, but so he opened one roll and they were all P's, but
Oh,
I'm thinking he's going to get some W's in there.
I've got all D's. I'll trade some.
What year is this?
This is 61 proof. I don't know, Trey. I'm somewhat inclined to think that you might want to focus on U and United as opposed to E pluribus unum. All the double dies that I've seen actually don't have this partial rotation. I think I see this a lot on Kennedy's too for MD.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to see that.
It's like
And that lighting is weird too. I mean, I'd like to see a picture taken from a different angle just to make sure it wasn't a lighting.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's so hard to because if I had it under my scope, I could turn it all different ways to see it knocking at the top left there, but
right on.
Right. Yep. Those dots look so normal.
Yeah, they do. All right, we do have some additional stuff that came in. Let me see here. Koi sent something.
Yeah, if you guys have, it's only too late to send them in when we are gone. It is hard to take a picture in the plastic tray. Absolutely. It's hard. It's hard to see anything on a coin in the plastic.
Well, I'm trying to load a photo from PCGS site, but it just does not want to load. Welcome to the wood.
Koi says, I know it's junk, but it's pretty.
This fire pit. What?
Koi Lover says, I know this is junk, but I like it. Look at the stripes.
I know this is junk.
Oh, it's junk.
It's junk.
Hey, one man's junk is another man's.
What year is it?
1980D.
I think that's your typical dirty roller marks that get darker over time.
I do catch this on quite a few nickels. Not with so much toning. This is really pretty toning.
if you notice the high spots on the chin, the hair, the cheekbones, those stripes are non-existent.
Yep.
You know, I read an article.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
Nope, you go ahead.
I read an article. I think it was Mike Diamond. Just a couple days ago about his theory on the dirty roller marks. You know, how nobody's ever
misunderstood.
Yeah, nobody's ever really been able to say for sure one or another, and how he kind of leans more towards them actually being like striations in the like indented colors. Like there's an issue with the roller itself. So, I mean, because certain ones you look at, they almost do look like they're kind of, you know, a little indented, like raised in it. See, like even on that one, it kind of looks like they're.
The thing about that is, like,
there's
what
high
are the
and low.
rollers made out of? Are the rollers made out of rubber? Are they metal?
Rubber ain't gonna squeeze up an hour.
How much pressure is on it? I mean, I don't buy that one. I think it's either dirt or grime just from the process. I mean, when you have moving parts constantly moving against each other, there's always a buildup of grime. Or maybe it's something in the alloy itself, but they're pure nickel. And you got the same thing on with cents. I've seen it on quarters. So it kind of spreads across almost all denominations. So it almost has to be something in the process itself, not on the coin. So
yeah, that would be another good question to pose to the mint. You know.
A good example is look, your wood grains. Your wood grains will wear down, but it's still going to be a wood grain. These roller mark coins, those high points get wore, that roller marks are gone. So that's just to me points to superficial type of thing. That's not indented at least too much. Otherwise, if they were at least decent grooves. Would still be there, at least with semi-reasonable wear.
Do we still see these on the zinc pennies, or does this stop on the cents in 1982?
I have not seen any on the zinc ever.
Paul, you're killing me here.
Here's the thing, though. I think this is something that happens over time. I think whatever's on these coins slowly gets darker with time. And maybe we don't see them on cents yet because they're not old enough yet.
I agree with that. That they do seem to get darker. Like the more worn the coin is or darker, like you don't usually see them on BU coins, you know?
I do love a nice fire in the backyard.
What?
I do love a nice fire in the backyard.
I know. It's so nice. And I'm eating potato chips, so I didn't want everybody to watch me eat my potato chips. But it's an interesting theory, you know, and you know, it's something that, like I said, maybe that would be a good question to pose to the mint. How are these, you know, what is the roller made of? What, you know,
they're wondering if there's a
to know. No, it's just there's just different theories on how those dirty roller marks.
Oh,
they're actually like dirty. Yeah.
Oh, could you imagine if those were steel, Chris? Oh, the sound.
Yeah.
Right.
So, Sky, well, let's see. I think that's who this is. It says left to right 1953D, 56D, 57P. Annealing issues or environmental damage?
I'm going to say environmental damage.
Yes,
almost
environmental.
every time.
That one definitely.
A good example. I mean, the one in the middle, you can try to argue that it's a Black Beauty, but look at that rim. It's wore down, and you have that nickel showing through. Typically on the Black Beauties, that typically won't be the case. So that's environmental.
Now, why wouldn't that be, Jeffrey, if it's just sintered material on the surface?
It's baked pretty good.
Yeah, it's
so
like what do you call it? The powder coat.
So I mean, all the ones that I've seen worn don't show that nickel through, at least unless it's you take a grinder to it. But if you probably get down on there, you could look at surfaces too. That's going to be the number one thing.
You got to start with the assumption that it is it's environmental damage, and then prove otherwise. Environmental damage is easy, and the sintered planchets, they're not easy.
Exactly. The burden of proof lies in the air.
I don't know. See, I've never come across a sintered planchet that shows through on the rim. Good example is to look at the rim. Rim's going to be your number one place. That's going to be your first place to wear. Even in that center one up top, you see some silver showing through.
Yep.
Is it just me? Is Jeffrey and Christopher's cameras frozen, or is it just me?
Just you, I think.
Okay.
It depends on your connection, Paula, but it shows through to everyone else.
Reach Starsky. I've never even seen a Black Beauty up close.
They're working here.
Welcome back.
Yep. I was able to get side-by-side photos of Trey's coin, the Franklin $50. And if I can get it here,
DDR.
there we go. This is as much. Well, I can probably focus there. That's a little bit bigger. This is what I can get having two different images side by side. I can move them around a little and put one beside the other nice and close. And I'm looking at the L is what gets my attention the most. And it looks like his coin is thinner than the the one on the right is provided by PCGS. The one on the left is provided by Trey. And well, getting the sizes identical is a bit of a bear. But his L looks thinner.
Yep.
And that is the diagnostic that says mechanical doubling.
Yep.
But I'm looking at a picture. You got it in hand. You got to make that. You got to make that determination.
Wow.
Yeah, I think your best bet at this point is to cross-reference the Franklin Lovers page and really look at that U in United and those letters around the edge. You can see if there's doubling towards the edge of the coin, possibly. But this is, I think, on the E pluribus unum, I think it's just ND.
Those dots too.
Paula, your sound is down on your end. I don't know.
My sound is down?
Yeah, you're whispering to us all. No, we can't hear you, Paula. Very lightly.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I don't know what to tell you.
Oh, there I am. Title.
Can you hear me?
Barely.
Technical issue.
Barely.
Oh, I know why. I know why, because it's on my other
Turn
camera.
up the old power mouth.
It's on my other camera, that's why. Is that better?
There we go.
Is that better? Yeah. Because I switched it to my other camera, so it was using that microphone, and it's a little ways away.
Let me see what else we got coming in.
Any more, man?
Send your photos to checkmycoin@yahoo.com. There is no S on coin.
Oops, my bad. I'm doing that.
All right, I got one from Bill457. It's downloaded.
Singular.
Singular.
Somebody else made that mistake.
I think I have.
And
It's just
did
it's
it.
something you do.
I gotta watch him like a hawk. At least I claim that.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Rotate ski.
Interesting. All right, so Bill says, what degree of rotation are they? Notice the dome of Monticello facing different direction. Well, you can say, well, it's got clockwise rotation and give it a degree, or counterclockwise rotation and give it a degree.
We need to
I'd like
see
to-
both the obverse and the reverse together. Proper orientation.
I have a die rotation guide on one of my blog articles.
I know. I remember that too now.
Huh?
It's all coming back to me.
That's a nice one, though.
Admin, that could.
Oh, and the
Yeah.
2000.
Woohoo! Well, it's definitely more than 45 and less than 90 if you're going that way.
Which way did he flip it?
I'm
Yeah,
trying
that's
to
what
figure
I'm wondering. I don't have a reference point.
Okay, so
Which
if
one's
you look
the
at the
top and which
obverse
one's the
flip,
bottom?
it looks like he stapled it twice and pulled the staples out. So go to the other
Oh,
picture
okay.
of the reverse.
It's on the. Oh, he flipped it.
Excellent.
Oh. So he flipped it upside down.
All right, so let me.
So it's about it's like a what 10-degree rotation or something.
It's like Amber said, about 55-ish.
Does that help?
Yeah. So that's looking to me like about a 25 or no.
25.
I'm thinking percent, not degrees. It's getting late.
Oh, wait a second. I probably shouldn't have done that. If this is right side up and the holes are in the top, flipping
Yep.
it top to bottom.
Yeah,
Yep.
where's
Yeah.
the other
Yeah, I did this wrong. Let me undo that.
pictures? There it is.
Flip it,
On the
flip it
top.
the other way.
There we go.
There.
That's a different one.
Oh, that's
So-
different. Yeah.
So it's 135.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, it's a good one.
It is a good one.
Once you get past 45, it's elementary.
Yeah.
I've got Chris's article showing, and in the chat, I've got the link to this article so you can find it. And this is a neat one. You can just take his image here and print the darn thing out. And look, instant tool.
Yeah, he's got some great stuff. I
That's really
forget about it. I need to go on and copy that to my
Yeah,
clipboard.
I based that off of that Rotaflip. Back in the day, it was like an acetate.
Yeah.
Yeah, the dealers used to hand them out.
Yeah.
I found some information on it, and that's what I based this off of.
I remember when you were doing that, and
Yeah.
you posted the picture of that.
So you can print this out and just lay your flip right on it, and it's pretty easy to figure out.
No, the center of the coin.
That's
Where's
awesome.
CJ? Where's CJ when you need him?
I probably forgot about it because I never find anything like
CJ,
that.
make these.
We need to
Oh,
make.
he would definitely. He
We
could
need
make
to
up
make
something
these.
really cool.
Yeah, we need to make these
Yeah.
clear plastic, so it'll
Legit.
hold different sizes of coins.
Yep. That's what they were. They were just a clear plastic, real thin, like acetate type plastic. And
Shumar, can you give focus to Ken?
Ken is focused.
He is.
Yeah.
Right here on Chris's blog. And
You have to click it.
in chat. Yep. Pretty darn handy.
Yeah.
You
DJ
want
could even
5
put
different
those.
sizes to fit a coin in and have it centered.
yeah, so Shay, you were pretty much right on when you said 135.
Yeah.
That's what it's looking like.
Yeah, this would be a pretty handy thing. You could have both sides.
And for each type of coin, or one holder that can take different types of coins. And so you just
Yes, and just put the numbers on the outside.
Yeah, you just have to be able to. That's right. You have to have an opening where you can put in a penny or a nickel or a dime, and it just catches right in the middle based on the size of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The actual rings.
He's still in the chat. Oh, he is.
You getting this, CJ?
CJ
could be rich.
Did you get that, CJ?
It's like, what? What?
No, what?
Christopher, CJ does 3D printing. He actually printed a new 3D printer because he needed a second one.
Really?
He printed a new 3D printer.
I know the last one of these I was on, he had made some coin tubes.
That and my little coin things for teaching.
Separator.
All kinds of. I want him to print me a new dishwasher.
Ooh. Can you do a truck?
I haven't quite talked him into it yet. But
Ken, don't you still have that white truck sitting out?
Oh, it's out there, and I still haven't washed it.
So if I was a coin roll hunter, I would want a quick way to validate my coins are maybe rotated or not when I catch one. So like I can flip them over and catch some rotation, like the major rotation. But if I could just really quickly pick up a little piece of plastic, drop it in, and immediately determine what the rotation is, man, that would save so much time.
Crazy.
That's a moneymaker right there.
Think about
That
it. The
is a
technology you're talking
moneymaker.
about is from the 60s.
And I know somebody I could market that to for you, CJ. That's a moneymaker right there.
Okay, so we want the
Right, Jeffrey?
to hold.
Hey, I want some royalties out of this.
But we want to see through to the back and have the other bit on the back so we can see the thing.
That's fantastic.
So instead of a solid back here where the coin is, we're going to have a lot of spaces and stuff. You really only need 3 points to keep that coin centered and have the rest wide open. So you can flip it and say, aha. You line up one side and look at the other.
Christopher, send CJ an email. When he does it, you guys can like collaborate on that.
Yeah, on Facebook?
Or you could just send it to the Check My Coin.
Dude just got his
To
power
the
supply
Check My
fixed.
Coin at Yahoo or however you guys want to do it.
I was waiting for the 2 in the pink thing going.
There you go.
You've been waiting for that for how long have we been on? You got to watch his show sometime, Christopher. He shows that kind of stuff accidentally.
Yeah, actually.
They just pop up sometimes. He goes, "Oops."
Yeah. Funny how that happens.
Funny how that happens.
Just
He had
like
a whole
that little
slideshow.
example I have here.
That's a nice pie chart you got going on there, Ken.
Well, the Y is what would support the coin. And then you have the concentric rings would be just something to hold and center the specimen being examined. Okay, so you'd only need little bumps on these radials. Is what I'm thinking, and the rest of this can kind of go away. As long as you got those bumps, you should be good. That's the biggest eraser I got.
Oh my God, Microsoft Paint.
You're arting, Ken. You're arting.
Hey, don't knock Microsoft Paint.
I'm afraid to click on Ken now. Come on.
He's graduated from the Play-Doh.
So you just need little notches or
He's a
bumps
drawer now.
on those radial supports, or maybe you could have 4 supports depending on the size you'd need. All right, and to turn the whole thing darn over, and you got your little bits on the outside that'll have 45 degrees, 90 degrees, whatever the heck.
135.
135, 187.2.
I want it right down to the single degree.
Right.
That's tough.
If it's 37 degrees rotated, I want to know.
You
This is
are my
actually turning out to be some
sunshine.
pretty cool modern
I
art.
was just thinking that, Frank.
This is my company logo.
Great minds.
That's scary. Amber
Great talk
said,
at once.
Amber said, just make it so you can insert half a Mylar 2x2.
Put the copyright sign on there.
There it is.
Like slide it in between something. Interesting.
Yeah, I think
Like have a
she's
slab to
thinking.
put the 2x2 in.
Yeah, so you don't have to take it out of the 2x2, maybe.
Yeah.
Ken, you are proficient in Microsoft Paint.
Yes.
He just,
What I got.
he's,
He's-
I guarantee you,
Ken Park.
he's been sitting at his desk for hours playing with that.
There's my copyright.
Awesome.
There you go.
That's how you learn.
Just a slot to slide in, and that'd be a good idea.
Yeah, just
I'm pretty sure
slot
Chris already has this.
and whatever the coin is, it will slide down and perfectly centered based on whatever type it is. Yeah.
Yeah, make
Yeah,
these
I got
instead of flat, these would be little ramps.
Oh, so it would settle flat. Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, we can engineer this.
Yeah, CJ's got this.
Yeah. we got
We're all gonna get caught later that Kent hurt himself out in the garage trying to make this up.
I can make that out of wood.
That's great.
Boogie's gonna make one out of wood. Watch it.
Yeah, really.
No, Christopher.
Like freaking
They're stealing
African
my idea.
basswood or
They're
something.
stealing my idea.
All right, I've got the next mail from Dave Watson. He says, hello, everyone. Was just listening and taking in as much as I can when I came across this 84p. I'm still fairly new to looking for varieties and errors and not sure what to make of this. On the F in of is what I thought was a die chip at first, but when I zoomed in with the scope, it appears to have very straight lines. Just not sure what to make of it. Could it be a die chip or break?
Why did my eye go right to that ear as soon as he put
Tune
that
in.
84 up? Thanks, Frank.
No
It's
double.
not in there. Ooh.
That's all I see now.
Ear.
84. My
Zinc bubble.
My first idea is zinc bubble. Press it with a toothpick.
Yeah,
Yeah,
push
for
it
real.
out with a toothpick.
Pop it like a pimple.
Exactly, doctor.
Pop it like a pimple.
Doctor.
Could
Yeah,
it
look, we got
possibly
some
be
over here.
a die scrape from feeder finger as well, just a small one?
Oh yeah. I just had one that as I was going through my rolls, this thing had feeder finger marks all over it, the entire reverse, and I don't know why I didn't keep it. Probably because I see him so often. Those feeder fingers will lay a number on those dies, I'll tell you.
Yeah, they do.
TJ, you're gonna need some Play-Doh.
Uh-oh. Snake.
I got me some Play-Doh. I got me
need
some
a-
Play-Doh.
She got some
I
damn
almost got-
Play-Doh, dude.
I almost got the sparkly kind, but I thought, nah, it wouldn't show up as well.
I'm
That
gonna
was
only do
fun.
a partial circle.
Yes,
And
but I didn't win the
Gumby-
club yet.
Pardon?
Were you
said
thinking that, Christopher, because of the inside of the F? Is that why you were thinking feeder finger?
I think I know where you're going with this guy.
It just kind of has that same design element that I've noticed with the feeder fingers, almost like a chamfered look to it. Ken, Gumby was green.
Stop summoning Satan. What are you doing?
I'm making a model
Ooh.
of that thing we were just looking at.
He's making
There
a
you
peach
go.
sign.
Making a peace sign.
So Cindelicious says, just wanted to show off my Black Beauty, aka Ken's girlfriend.
Whoa!
Wait a minute,
Oh,
Rashida?
gosh.
A baby.
Rashida's here?
That's Bruce Jenner. It's
Look at
Bruce
that
Jenner post
trouser.
surgery.
Yes, she is.
pretty cool.
It's Caitlyn Jenner.
Chris.
I'm telling you. Put a side by side. Do a side by side. He's a pretty girl.
The chat's blowing up.
She's not. That's the prettiest design on any coin ever. Why did the public like it? Look at her. It's a sea hag.
How did you, my pretty? And you're double bang too.
Yeah, we used to get Lady Liberty, and then we get that, you know.
Welcome to the 70s.
Yeah, I think there was something involved in that design. Someone was smoking something.
Someone is, in terms of Paul, just reading the future.
Fake one.
So this is from Ida Herring. Can you tell me, is this worth having graded?
Nope.
Nope, fake.
Yep.
Didn't we talk about?
We talked about that last time, I think.
See how pointy these points are?
Oh my god.
They should be much more rounded.
And the metal
Are you
flows
all right, Frank?
Going out away from the clip.
There's an overpass here where the train comes over, and there's a truck trying to go underneath it right now, and I think he just got stuck.
But the
no.
Yeah, so the edges of a clip are typically tapered off to where when that coin spins and goes through that rolling machine, that part doesn't get rolled.
I would bet you'll see striations on the edge, almost as if it was cut with a scroll saw or something.
You do. She showed it last time, and that's exactly, yep, chop marks.
Yeah, but it was not
And
to
you
be
can
pointed out
see it.
last week with the clip that big the other side.
No, Blakesley.
Yeah, Blakesley effect. I guess we'll give the focus back on Ken with his masterpiece.
Oh, is he done? Is he done? I was waiting with bated breath.
We're just working on a prototype is all we are. Now the center that holds the coin, it would want to be strong enough that it's not going to break easily, especially if you give it to a 3-year-old for teasing. Okay, so maybe instead of 3 supports, you can add however many you need, right? It's not a problem. But the whole idea is you can put the coin in and flip it over real easy, right? I mean, just, do this, and it won't move. Just hold it like that. Okay, but there, we got the outside marks, measurements. Here, you'd have different diameters for the coin.
Ooh, now that's real.
Different notches to hold that coin or give it a stop so it stays centered. You can shake it, it doesn't move.
Well, this one, that's shaped.
Give me something else round.
Is that a real clip and a fake clip on the same coin?
I'm thinking.
Oh,
All right, let me see.
They wanted to make it a bigger clip.
Holy overkill.
That was not big enough. Let's make one over here.
Yeah, let's.
Yeah. What a shame.
Why stop there? Let's cut it in half.
But I wanted to show the good one, the good side.
Oh, good camera shot, dude.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's a tight image right there. You can almost see the color variation where the punches came together.
And then the big one.
Yeah, you can see the striations where it was cut.
Why would with a single strike.
What the?
Oh my gosh, now he's got it shaped in a heart.
He's got.
There, I love.
Oh, isn't it tweet?
Huh? There you go.
I told you, Ken, stop doing that stuff in public.
This is so handy.
People are going to talk.
With a piece of Play-Doh. Look, we put together a prototype of this thing in what, 5 minutes? And it's reusable.
People are going to talk.
You take a coin, you can flip that baby over. Somehow.
Amber wants you to show the other side, Shay.
It doesn't break enough.
Now it's seahorse. Oh,
See? Robert Not a Troll's already talking. Robert Not a Troll's already talking. See, you've gone and done it. Now the rumor mill has started.
Is that Chinese for hungry for bacon?
yeah. Ho chow.
Pork chop.
Hungry for bacon.
Number 8 sweet sauce special.
Some dumb chick.
No more for you.
Well, all this talk about bacon, I'm pretty hungry, so I'm gonna go eat some.
Yeah, dude. No. Feel like middle
It's been a pleasure, guys.
Yeah, thanks a lot,
Christopher,
Chris.
Have a good night.
We need to talk.
Mr.
Okay?
Rhodes, be good, man.
Stay
Thanks,
groovy, baby.
Brother. Hey, keep finding those gems.
You got it. You got it.
Yep. Anybody who wants to talk to
Give
me,
your wife a
message me on Facebook.
smooch for me.
I will. She's probably waiting for me
Okay.
patiently.
Aw,
All
bless
right,
you. All right,
Chris.
thanks for
Good night, everybody.
Yeah,
Good night.
Christopher. Gotta try to light that ticket.
Bacon sauce, damn
I don't know
good.
why is it still lit?
And one more time, I'm going to post a
That
link to
sounds good.
Chris's blog.
Yeah, excellent. Excuse me. Paula, are you doing the fire dance?
No, I had Bethany go get me some citronella stuff for my tiki torches because
Oh, yeah.
the mosquitoes
to
are coming out. Because my waterfall, the pond is hasn't been run, so I know there's larvae in it.
Oh, yeah. You're going to have
And
swarms.
I don't like the mosquito. I already coated myself with Skin So Soft before I came out here because they eat me alive. They eat me alive.
Any other questions about stuff?
Yeah, we got more questions.
Awesome. Another Klipsky.
No, it's the same one. Let me.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
I like
I got one. Robert, let me see if this is the one I've got almost.
Jesus, too bad that John Wexler couldn't take off some of those 1960 repunch mint marks, huh?
Why is that stay lit? I don't get it.
So we got Robert, not a troll. Robert, send in this DDO or no?
What is
Let's
it?
see.
MD.
MD.
That looks like your halves, Shay.
Yeah, it does.
Wow, look at the ag, too. Cool.
Yeah.
I'd still keep it, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are cool.
It's like Ken says, don't let anyone else tell you what or what not to collect.
Right.
There are no rules.
And it's an 83D.
Oh, look at
Ooh,
that.
that's something, too.
Bummer. That one's not gonna light. Darn it.
Yeah, I know, Amber,
Darn
really.
it.
That
I mean,
looks
it's
like massive
different.
MD.
Different is good. So we're looking at MD here for sure.
Yep.
Not to mention dye deterioration on the
Amber, we're
model.
going,
Like,
leaving. Bye,
insane.
Amber. See you on Facebook, sister.
All right. Let's see. Send another one also. So let me get that one ready.
Yeah, Robert, I definitely still hang on to it just for giggles more than anything, but it's not doubling though. It's not die doubling, I should say.
Rather than call it MD and toss it to the side, call it MD and save it and mark it as MD, so you have, at least one example as a reference.
Even better. There you go.
Let me compare that to the MD that I have, so I can see, what they mean by they're thinner or it's flat.
Mm-hmm.
So the question on this from Robert is, would this be a die clash? It doesn't match up to overlays on mad die clashes.
Let's start with the idea that it's damage.
What is it?
Could be flying schnoz.
Can we call it something besides damage?
Planchet issue? Die polishing?
I've got a Lincoln like that. It's a Steely too.
What was that, Ken?
For a clash, we want to see a match to the design. Doesn't have to line up perfectly, but it needs to be, kind of feather-like. Oh, I got that picture here. Yeah, I'm looking at abrasion. Is it abrasion on the die or abrasion on the coin?
What's kind of really catching me off is you have that wear up on the cheek. You have that wear right next to it. I would want to turn that in the light and see how that looks. It does kind of look consistent with some dye abrasion.
If the die is abraded, there should be raised lines.
Yeah, that's what I want to type that, turn that in the light and see how those look.
Oh, get more pictures.
There we go.
Well, it's not consistent with the design of the reverse, so I'm gonna wipe out clash right off.
Yeah, it's not a clash.
It looks like a scrape, something dragged across it. Boy, that's a hard place to get on the coin. Are they raised or are they depressed? If they're depressed, the coin is damaged.
Because it looks like, I mean, if you had scraped this thing across the face right there, you would see some residual scraping along the device.
You'd think there is that ding right there under your mouse.
Yeah.
And on the nose. But
I don't know. I'd want to turn that in the light and see if that's raised or set down near the coin. That's going to be the biggest deciding factor.
Amber says it looks like 5 o'clock shadow raised. Where's the light source? Light source is coming from north. If you look at the nostril, the light source is from the north. I just had that picture. Where'd it go? There. So are the stripes bright and then dark? I can't get any zoom here. I need to zoom in on that. If you see patterns of light on the north and then dark on the south, that would say that the marks are raised.
Kind of hard.
Yeah. Man, we need better resolution to determine that. But if you're saying dark on the north followed by bright, then they would be pressed into the coin, which would say damage.
Yeah, so we got shadow on the bottom of the nose and on the left side of the lip.
insufficient resolution to determine it.
Yep.
Well, that's always a huge factor.
So keep it until you're able to decide.
It's weird. It looks like his nose sticks out farther than it should, too.
It's somebody punched him.
Yeah, it looks like somebody pummeled him right there.
Yeah, big time. Caught me.
Yeah.
Caught me.
Flatten his nose out a little bit to cause this hump.
Hump nose.
Well, actually, whoever flattened his nose out did it when he was about 20.
Old George hasn't been 20 for a long time.
Long time.
He wasn't even a soldier yet.
20 decades.
I think that's what it looks like.
Ooh, that's a nice proof.
It's a little impaired, but
Yeah, nice.
but it's silver.
Finding a roll?
No.
Oh, man.
I wish I did. I ordered some from AppMex, and about 15 of them came impaired out of the 40. I got this kind of stuff going on.
Yeah, I've ordered rolls of proofs, and you got to hunt them down. You got to. And you take a hit.
Yep.
You're going to get 10, 15% that are, this is second rate.
Yeah. I got some nice ones, but
Yeah, stop
I
buying
mean,
proof
your
rolls.
brains for that, like which one's the best silver place to get to? Maybe you and Paula too, because she likes the silver too. But I may be getting into that more shortly.
Oh, Robert sent another one with a flashlight photo on there.
What were you looking for, Frank?
Which one at Max, whichever to get silver from.
well, I
get
go.
mine from Shay.
Yeah, I go to Provident Metals, J&M Bullion, and AppMex, and I haven't had really any issues. They'll all take returns as long as you inspect it and call them right away within a day or two.
Okay. Cool.
But you're gonna get stuff that's cloudy. You're gonna get stuff that's scratched. And you're just gonna have to call them back and send it back. They'll usually pay for shipping, but it's the inconvenience of having to ship it back and wait for replacements.
And hope it's not the same, right?
Yeah. Eventually,
People are sending emails.
oh, good. Eventually, when you spend enough money with them, they get you somebody like your own personal contact that you can call.
Like a CSR? Cool.
Yeah. No,
Robert sent another photo, and this, he put the flashlight in from the bottom, and those look like raised mines.
Whoa. Sure do.
look at that.
And if they be raised, there should be more of these out there. That would be a diver.
It's like overzealous.
So you think they're die
polish.
gouges?
And the
You
closest
think it's a die gouge?
I think it's a die gouge.
Yeah, because the only thing that could possibly match up with if it was a clash would be the arrow shafts.
Yeah, with anything that close together, right? I don't see it.
I'm thinking that's too big apart for
A breeding 101 at the minute.
arrows. I'm going to discard the clash theory. It just doesn't fit. But a die abrasion? Yeah.
For sure.
And that's a nice little spot. It's protected. So over here on the left, where the chrome is, that would be subject to more wear and would dissipate. But this is a nice protected spot. Well, now the task before you is to find another one.
Right.
You find another one, and you will verify your idea.
Really not liking this backwards thing.
So Shay, did you get that link to to Modern Coin Mart that had the coupon. Trace sent me one for you. I got a 1 ounce Australian Apollo 11 coin, silver, for $12.95 last night.
Hi,
Oh,
Adriana.
yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Or day before yesterday. Yeah. Trey sent me the link. He's like, "Oh my gosh, I just bought silver for under spot." He was so excited. And I'm like, "What?"
Yeah.
That was
So he
12.
gave me the code and hi Adriana.
Hi.
How are you feeling?
I didn't know
Nice
that.
to
Hi, guys.
Hi guys.
Shay's shoulder, that's all. Just ignore me. I am not here. Is that a fire?
Yeah, Paul.
It is. Isn't it nice?
Hi, Ken.
Hey, how are ya?
I'm doing great. How are you doing? Did you have a good holiday?
I just put the link up for check my coin at yahoo.com again.
Look,
Hey Shay, did you guys get that bad storm?
we did.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
why I was feeling so bad yesterday.
Oh, I saw that this morning on the news and I thought of you guys. That was horrible.
That's what she had a horrible headache for sure.
Yeah, I couldn't do anything for about a day and a half because it comes on the day before and it stayed all day long until about midnight last night. It started feeling better.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear
That
that.
is so
It
weird. You are literally a walking barometer.
I'm not even kidding. If I've got a storm 200-mile radius, I can feel it.
Crazy.
My divining rod for storms.
Yep. If I could
I
go
know, kid.
back to the Old West, I could have been one of those people that sold my services.
If you're gonna be sailing,
Is she like Powder? Remember that movie Powder?
Oh yeah.
You don't put her outside during lightning storms, right?
Oh, I've been outside during lightning storms. When my alarm went off on my truck because my stupid keys were left outside, my key fob got all wet.
In the bush. In the bush.
And yeah, in the bushes. I slept outside. Well, I didn't sleep outside. I slept outside for 5 hours in my truck with it on, so it wouldn't bother the neighbors with all the kids.
Oh my god.
if you're gonna sail across the Bermuda Triangle, you take
Me with you.
Oh, good lord, right?
Mm-hmm. Look at what's
somebody who else?
thing. I think that's Ken's. Look at him. Look what he's got.
Oh, Amber Pennell wanted to know if anybody tried AppMex Mercury Dime Rolls.
Oh, that's what I just.
That's
have.
what he just had. That's what he's got right
that's
here.
What I
in his
just
hand.
opened up.
We get a lot of our
that?
coins from AppMax. A lot of our coins come from AppMax. Yep. A lot of our BUs and the stuff that we put into our packs that we do for donations, we get from AppMax.
These were supposed to be AU.
I got a beautiful Mercury Dime from Mr. Brian Hooper.
Yeah, I was jealous of that one, Paula.
I got a few from Mantic.
Mm-hmm.
What's that?
I've gotten a few nice mercs from you guys.
Who is that?
Yeah, usually I get BU. That's Coin Dragon.
That's Coin Dragon. I thought that was Coin Dragon.
Both are quite a lot.
Corn Dragon. Hi, sweetie.
Yeah, see, I don't buy too much from AppMex anymore. I can get better prices from a couple other suppliers I have.
Well, hook me up.
Yeah, well, we've liked all the coins we've got. Well, most of the coins, but 98% of the coins we've got from AppMax have been awesome.
So how much did you pay?
Problems sending them back either.
Mm-hmm.
So how much is a roll of AU Merc Dimes from AppMax?
How much did you waste right here?
If you don't mind me asking.
I paid too much because I didn't. I had to get them quick, so I didn't do it by check. I did it by PayPal. It was
177.
177, a little high.
$3.50 a piece.
Yeah, if you pay with the what is it, check or something like that?
But
you get
keep in mind, I have found varieties.
Yes.
So
why does Ken keep messing with the what is he looking at?
Brian Hooper sent it to me now.
1984 penny that had the anomaly on the F.
That's what I thought he was looking at. Check that out.
Yeah, you have it.
Said hit it with a toothpick. Well, he did.
Wow.
With a stick.
Boy, that's tiny compared to the size of that toothpick.
Wow.
Throw a brick at it.
So chip or blister?
I
Kind of looks
Place
like
your
can't tell if
bets.
that.
I'm not seeing any deformation from the toothpick.
uh-uh.
And it looks like some stout pine.
Mm.
Cheap,
Kind of looks like a chip.
cheap. No Coke Betsy.
Well, hold on to that, baby.
Well,
I can't see the chat.
Christopher Rhodes was thinking it might be from a feeder finger.
And this looks to be the same kind of height as the F. The feeder finger marks tend to be very low. And as they grow in size, you know, as that same scrape gets bigger and bigger, it's still quite low, but you should see a lot more dimension as far as length and
And
girth.
they're typically in one direction, too.
We see it, Brian.
That pluribus looks
Wow,
weird.
Brian.
It
Okay, you put that up there.
That last U in pluribus and the B.
I think that's typical of the quality of 1984, where you have these, you know, this kind of
Goofiness.
detail coins.
The goofy.
The early 80s, you get poor detail, but
They get puffy and weak.
You got the bugs worked out.
They were all new at it, too, at the time.
Interesting.
All the operators, all the laborers, everybody.
The easy answer is to say that that's a blister. But you know, a die chip, it's not too far off.
It looks like a die chip to me. But what do I know?
Well, hold on to it.
Yeah, she knows what.
She knows her die
Yeah,
chip.
but you have an eagle eye, Adriana.
I have a die chip eye, I guess, but it honestly looks a die
You have
chip.
an eye for anomalies. You have an eye for
That
anomalies.
there girl knows her commemoratives, let me tell you.
I just know something when I see something wrong. That's all. Check that out.
This is from Brian Hooper.
Check that out. Isn't that cool? Wow. Brian Hooper.
What the Sam France.
Oh, that's awesome.
Isn't that crazy?
That's awesome.
It's like Salvador Dali meets FG.
I mean, what the
I
heck?
want to see the whole thing.
Frank Gasper.
Hang on. He's got another part of it too. Oh, look, an extra feather.
Is there more goodness?
No, I want to see the whole.
What's going on there?
Look at that. That's
Yo, Cindy, that's
fantastic. Show him. Did you not see the first picture, Ken?
Show the first
I was playing.
Look
at that.
Oh, look at that.
Check that out.
That's amazing.
I'll take you to
That's the stuff in the back, isn't it?
So if I were to guess, I would say this was an 83p. Because that's what the Clash is supposed to look like right there.
But that
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a big
He found it. Holy cow, he found it
This
cornrow
is what
hunting.
you see. We find all the polishing marks on these left over, but that's exactly the Clash, the wing.
Yeah.
If they don't
Robert
know,
Burns.
that's what it's supposed to look like. He found it. He found it cornrow hunting. Way to go.
Brian. We find bits and pieces of this Clash left over, you know, like they've done different.
Some drumsticks on his nose.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That is really cool.
Get back to
Now I want one of those.
What is that, an 83p?
83p, yeah.
It's got to be an eighth. Is it an eighth, Brian?
Yeah, it's got. I know that Clash. I've seen it.
I know. We just want to make sure it's
I've
real.
studied it. I want it.
I did not say corn, you stinker.
Now we've given out some that had this particular part of the Clash on the reverse,
Yeah.
and I think Robert actually got one.
Sounds like chicken.
He said it was an 83. You were correct.
Yeah.
83p.
That's amazing, Brian.
I'll add that to my list.
That is so super cool. We're going to have to make sure we take a picture of that because we don't have anything that looks like that at all.
Send them the picture. Send me the coin.
Dave said it too. He's got one too.
Yep, Dave has one.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I'm gonna head out. I promised Novus is gonna open that box of quarters, so I promised him I'd be over there.
Awesome.
Oh, okay.
So you guys you guys have a good night and have fun. And thanks for having me on the channel again.
Paula.
Yep, see you, Paula.
See
Bye.
you.
See you
You
soon.
guys. Okay.
Now tell me about that thing.
Just wait until I 3D print a desktop leprechaun of this mint press.
He will take over the world.
Wow, my butt hurts. What am I sitting on?
My butt.
Wait, are you sitting on my album, my coin album?
No, I'm not sitting on any coins. If I was sitting on any coins, I think my butt would hurt a lot worse than that.
Put a glove on your butt. What's the dime here?
I'm like sitting on a book or something.
Okay, Amber, take care.
Yeah, good night, Amber.
If you've got camera ability, are you able to join a hangout and look at your coin so we can show it live?
Yeah, for real.
Because I'd like to see, the people in the chat not only show their coin and ask questions about it, but do it live.
Yeah, that would be cool.
If you have that ability.
Because then you can get different angles and whatnot.
Yeah, and then we can ask you questions live.
Real time, baby.
And Dave said not quite the.
Well,
quite
yeah,
that-
it's.
Or
Yeah.
I guess 80-50.
Thanks for busting my bubble.
Mm.
Now Frank's gonna start throwing off his double ear again.
Yeah.
It might be.
Oh, there's a nice little.
Hey,
This
Jack,
thing I got here right now, this is a Lincoln. It's a Steely. And you were showing off that thing that looked like it had a bunch of abrading marks on it, the quarter. And this kind of has the same thing going on. That's his nose. I've got it rotated 45.
Oh, I see it.
Looks
Yeah.
like he's
Well,
got something
90.
on his nose.
But you can see it kind of. I mean, it looks more like a wing than anything. That's why I call it the flying schnoz. I saw it on eBay and I thought it looked cool, and then
Looks like
I
he's
think I bought it for like $2 or something.
got something coming out
It's,
of his nose.
Michael Jackson 5 minutes into surgery.
Hey,
Yes.
leave Michael Jackson out of that, man. That's
The
just nothing.
snozzberries taste like
Well,
snozzberries.
he was great at one time.
Shay just found a die crack on a Merc dime.
Ooh, yes, he did.
Yep,
The
typical.
schnoz. Yes.
Yep. Radio pattern.
Yep, look at that.
Ooh, that's cool.
There. Isn't that cool? And these are the ones we got from AtMax, so we find these
Freshy too.
a good amount of time. We find these.
All the lines are gone.
That's every bit of AU.
That's all right. How often do we find a die crack on an AEU?
Hmm.
Not very often.
All those quarters.
The
all
quarters,
those
yeah,
quarters.
but
I had die cracks all over those things.
We got
Whoa, what's that?
What?
That's extra. Look at that.
With
W.
that?
Uh-huh.
No, that's
Oh, it's AW.
yeah, AW.
Is that how they
That's
do
the
it?
designer.
Adolf Weidenman.
Adolf.
That's how they do that?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, I didn't know that.
That's what he did.
It's
Is it back-
Art Deco era.
When you were moving it. There's another die crack.
No, that.
was
Yeah, that's those are polish marks.
Yeah.
Oh, do your little thingy with
I
the
bit
con-
my tongue when I was about to say ley line.
What's that?
No, that's
Yeah.
a die crack. That's a die crack.
Well, see how straight it is.
Hey, Robert. Right?
It goes all the way to past the other part of the T right there.
I know, but they're saying it's polishing some dye.
Yeah, if you look at the other parts of the coin, you have all of those polish marks. So I'd lean towards that one to be.
Go back to the Y because there's another die crack there too.
See over here, over around the eye.
That's just a scratch.
Yeah.
That's a
So
scratch.
you have a ton of dye abrasions, that not polish
Yeah, that's
abrasions.
when they're trying to squeeze more life out of that knife.
Mhm. Go back to the Y.
It looks like an 84 Roosevelt.
See all the polishing around
Okay.
the
All right. I don't know much about Merc dyes, so
eye.
Nice, Dave.
What's he got? Oh, it's a gouge.
They found a die crack on a quarter today.
Yeah,
Great. Look for die cracks on quarters. Right across the top of the head. All right. But if you got the old, what I just had it, the old eagle, look along, the edges of the feather. That's
Yeah, that wing. Yep. Your left wing. That's where most of your die cracks are in those quarters.
That
That's
might
a
be
deep
one
recess.
matter of fact. That's a little chip or something.
Want some tea or some water? Is this
What do you
some
think? Where they just
You gonna be up late?
those guys down to nothing.
Oh, I know. Coin bush.
Anything else,
But that thing is nuts. That
I want that.
$half.
I want that.
I know, right? I gotta find one now.
See, I talk about this all the time.
Exactly.
Something like that. That it jumps at you and it tells you, "Buy me." That's what I want the U.S. Mint to do. Make something that makes me say, "Buy me" or "Find me."
Yeah, exactly. And not a bunch of rinse spotted cents either.
Spotted, gonna rot in 20 years, zincs.
Garbage.
Yeah, mundo.
Garbage. Putrescent.
Oh.
See, like these W cores. I mean, the only one that I'm probably interested is the, just for subject matter, the War in the Pacific one. That's the only W quarter that sparks my interest, is just because you have a nice reverse design.
I'm just stoked that I got one.
It's on Saipan, I
From the
believe.
collection.
Well, here we go. Here's a die crack.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Jay, what was the question on this one?
This is from Ida. Please let me know what you think about this one. I don't know.
We are commensurate with the age.
It's a 1941.
It is a 1941 copper cent.
A little circulated. Looks like it was had a little bit of corrosion. That's it.
Got some doo-doo there at 7 o'clock.
Not quite
Just
clear
flat,
enough to see if this is a
A little bit sharper.
Yep. We're not photographers. We just do the best we can with photos, but sometimes the photos just aren't good enough to make a determination.
Might be a little closer on that one. Maybe it'd be helpful.
Oh, there we go.
1941, look at his eyelid. And you want
You'll sharp mask.
Can't. The pixels won't show up very well on that one.
We don't have enough resolution there.
Nope.
Yeah, you can only sharpen something so much, and it just looks like.
Yeah, but look in the armpits, on the T and thrust, and you're looking for extra armpits, especially on that second T.
Too many pixels. All right.
The needs exceeds the photo.
Yep.
Please try again, Ida. That's what he says. Yeah.
Okay.
So Robert Notroll brings up the point: the mint's in the business of minting money, not minting varieties.
Hi,
They
Rob.
can. Well, they can still make. They still have the capabilities to make good-looking coins.
Well, they need to put out a consistent product because it's the nation's money supply. It's our cash. It's our currency. It's our coinage. And if we don't put out a consistent product, if it comes out looking, frigged up every time, people are not going to have a faith in that currency. So keep it consistent. And they put out a tremendously consistent product. They're putting out billions of these pennies, and most of them are the same. But every now and then, one will slip by.
Orders today too.
Or we get a polish mark or a chip or a crack. That's where we come in.
I think I would have a 43 reverse die clash on a mark that I pulled out of an old Whitman book.
Nice.
I forget where that's at. It's the only one listed on Mad Die Clashes for the year. I forget what I did with that. It's hiding somewhere on the desk, I imagine. It's hard to get on camera.
Not very
Pretty
deep.
much, no, it's very faint. It's very light.
Okay.
It's pretty much a loop only type of thing, just because you got to be able to reflect the light just right.
Mm-hmm.
That looks like mechanical doubling.
Oh, the 9. Yeah.
On the 9. Yeah, it looks like mechanical, doesn't it?
Mhm.
A little bit on the W. Hey,
Yeah.
look at that.
What you
E.
got?
Robert
What you
Gravis
got
sent
up here,
this-
Ken?
Hey, Ken's got something.
Robert Gravis sent this in photos. It's a 2019 W reverse proof.
Oh.
Nice, Robert.
That's not too bad looking.
It's
really.
electric.
Yeah, you have the brilliant surfaces on all the raised devices and on the rim.
Never seen that one.
That's the reverse proof. Meanwhile, the flat fields, even inside the letters, have that special look. And I'd like to get a look at that and see if that's got that computerized pixelated appearance.
Oh, the laser action.
Yeah, because they switched over to that in 2010.
Does that have any of that bleed through that Paul was talking about?
I don't think we'd be able to tell at this scale. We'd need to zoom in
Okay.
by about a factor of 10. We're looking at the little edges. We're looking at just that point where the rough meets the
Really pretty.
brilliant.
Look at that thing.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
Okay, there's another one I gotta have.
Yeah, I mean that's gorgeous.
You work so hard and you put together a
Now, where did he find that at?
No, you buy it in mint set.
He
Or yeah,
bought-
proof
he
set.
bought, he bought the proof set.
Yeah, it just came out.
Guys.
USMint.gov.
silver proof set.
Silver proof set.
Oh,
I got
that's
the
awesome.
piece, Robert.
All right, go back to the thing. Did you not show him the E that you saw that?
And in 8 more months, you'll have to work on filling your collection up again.
No, the piece on the E that looked like it was sticking up.
Look at it.
Good old gimmick, just a cell proof from mint sets. Just fun.
55-watt laser. Okay. That's like 21 gigawatts.
Oh God, Ken.
Scott.
You
good
keep
there,
saying
Jeff?
gravity. Is there something wrong with
Huh?
gravity in the future?
You good there?
Yeah, I'm fine.
I love that movie.
That's
See,
a nice word.
That's what it's supposed to look like, but the other one that you had like a little tail on it.
Mhm.
You should show it to them and see what they think. Because it looks
Nice
like
toning on that too.
I think I stuck
no,
it here.
he just found something that looked really off. Check that thing out.
This damn weather just can't make up its mind. Now it's going to snow this weekend.
Huh?
It's gonna
It's supposed
snow.
to snow this weekend again.
Not here.
Keep that in New York.
Keep that bleed.
Don't. Yeah, keep that in New York.
Ever.
Check that out. Look what he just found. What is that?
What happened? Ooh. There's a little chip.
It's like a little extra right there.
Showing
Chickadee chip.
you the dot. Yep.
That's
Just-
extra.
This is one that had that
It's a
little bit of
little extra.
mechanical doubling.
Yeah, it's a little die break.
Yeah.
Done 41. Yeah.
There's a die crack on the quarter. Speed up.
Oh,
Finally found a
now we
spit.
got
Oh,
one.
somebody found a spitting horse. Hang on.
Nice. Let me grab that.
Yeah, hang on just a second. He's found something else. Let him download it.
Dave.
Dave. Oh, that's right. He said he found a spitting horse. I forgot about that.
Oh, did he show it?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
he sent
coming.
a picture. Hang on. He's going to do his thing here.
Yeah, and good news, I finally got the computer that crashed fixed today.
Awesome.
Oh, that's the full spit.
Wow. Cool.
Yep.
That's not just a spitter. That's a horker. That goes all the way to the
That's a
rear.
loogie. That's a freaking loogie, dude.
It's a loogie rider.
It's a
Water,
Cool.
It's a projectile
spout.
vomiting
Hey, do you
force.
see the piece coming off the top of his head right there?
Yeah. It is that an extension of the crack? Because I've never
I
seen
know, that's what it looks like.
It's a unicorn horse.
No, it looks like he spit so hard that it came off the back of his head because he was running so fast.
Projectile spitted.
we used to do that.
Yes.
So hard, that's right. Wow.
That was good, Dave.
Check
Yes,
that
that
out,
crack-
man.
That crack goes along the halter there.
Remember to look for that counter clash. That clash.
I mean,
That was
So
That
it.
is
we
awesome.
found one the other day, but it only came out of the mouth
Like a little
about halfway to A, and it wasn't that deep yet.
I mean, that is wicked, Dave. Go to the other one.
That's the most specimen I've seen.
That's it right
Yeah,
there.
then you have some filled letters in that as well.
Wow, Dave, that is really super cool. It kind of reminds me when I'm like going really like 80 miles an hour down the street and I have to spit out the window. And I have to spit far enough so it doesn't hit my truck, you know?
Yeah, I know. I hate
I
that.
would ride back in my grandmother's truck to get to the field.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you have to spit far enough so it doesn't hit you, hit anybody else riding in the truck with you. Yep, done that.
Forward,
You see the person in the other lane with the wipers on.
you spit
Mhm.
that way, and it hits my brother over here.
Yeah. People look at me like I'm nuts because I'm a girl and I'll spit a loogie halfway across the yard. And I'm like, what, man? What's up with that? Who
No,
cares?
they're upset about the part where you looked at him and said, "Here, take that."
I didn't say here, take that. I said, here.
Nothing
I
more
spit.
attractive than
Tailgate me, will ya?
I spit. I'm a girl. So what?
I wanna.
Yeah, here's some for Ida. She just,
I guess I married a spitter.
you married a Tom girl. You married a Tom girl.
Okay,
I can't
Ida.
believe you said that.
I heard a few laughs in the background.
Yeah, somebody caught that. Y'all shush. All right, here's Ida.
Now
here's
we're
Ida.
talking,
There we go.
Ida.
That's a good shot. You guys seeing this?
I'm trying real hard. Oh, there you go.
Huh.
Wow. Does it just kind of look squished?
Yep.
Oh no, I see
It almost
doubling
looks- it
on
almost
the
looks double.
B.
Holy crap.
That's what, a 41?
I'd be 41. And everybody's on Wexler now.
Yeah, we're gonna crash the site.
Go to the other one and see what she's got. Other pictures that she retook. So
I'm going to Variety Vistas where I'm headed to.
everybody's
One
taking the books.
Okay. How about video number 1, FS 101?
Here's another shot. Let's see if that.
Oh yeah.
Ida,
big
you
is-
have found yourself a doubled die.
Nice. I mean, that looks really cool.
Can we see trust and in God we trust, all that stuff?
Here, right there. That's a good one. Rotate that one. That's a good.
Yeah, I'd
one.
want to see In God We Trust.
That B is definitely double.
Oh, in. Check the in, the G, T, R. Ida, you
Yep,
have
look at the G. Yep,
AP.
You can totally see it with the G.
the G.
Way to go, Ida.
Nice, Ida.
Straight up G.
Okay, I'm going to give you a link right here. It'll take you to Variety Vista.
Yep, FS 101.
FS 101.
There you
That's
go,
the
Ida.
Cherry Picker's Guide Variety.
Yep,
Wow.
Good on you.
What the hell's that
nice.
guide?
It's in pretty good condition too. Considering
Yeah, that's a
Relation.
She said
Wow.
finally. She said finally.
Oh yeah.
Good
Nice.
find.
You have hit the big time, Ida.
That's a nice one too.
She wants
I'd
to
like
give
to see.
continue value to it.
Yes. That's one I'd like to see in hand. So yes.
Everybody's referencing their references right now. So
I don't
41.
have that one documented, so yes.
Video number 1. There it is.
there's
Not me. I'm just playing with my flying schnoz here.
there's the G. Yeah.
Looks right.
I'm not seeing it on a lot of the other letters, just mostly on that B and the.
Is there a die crack across the shoulder? That's stage C. Let's see what we got here.
I'm not seeing that there.
It's pretty worn, so.
It's pretty worn on that part. I can't see the die crack on that.
Well, I mean, I kind of see this here.
That's not where it's supposed to be, though.
Okay, Ken has pulled up
Go back to Ken.
Cherry Picker's guide here.
The right spot because it's supposed to be here.
I want to focus.
CPG.
Oops. There you go.
There it is. Ken has a.
It's a double die burst. The pickup points are Liberty and Trust. You have URS 11. This is your rarity. Well, 11, there's a bunch of them. Let me actually look that up and I'll give you a better idea.
URS 11 is.
There we go. URS 11, they're saying between 500 and 550 specimens. No. 500 to 1,000. URS is the Bowers Universal Rarity Scale. So 500 to 1,000. Yeah, not that many. But, dude, this one's listed in the Cherry Picker's Guide, so that's a big advantage for you.
God, look at
Cherry
that.
Picker's Guide varieties tend to draw a bit of a premium because this is the Bible. And they're also, they tend to, show the more prominent varieties. They're showing in very fine, which yours seems to be.
Reminds me of 72.
And I'd suggest that that's pretty good for 15 to 50, somewhere in that range.
Shay just got the new gray sheet too, so he'll be able to point that out too. Maybe it'd be in there.
Is it? Which one? Here, go back to BDO 001.
He's thinking it's a BDO 001. You know what he's thinking?
BDO 001.
I've got 001 showing. 001.
How do you take this thing off?
Oh, it's a peach. Yeah, dye varieties that are more pronounced, such as this one, they bring better money. Now you're circulated. It doesn't help any, but baby, what it cost you? A nickel? Yeah.
Your time.
It's fun. But now you have one in hand and you say, aha, that's what a double die looks like. It looks like, extra meat.
Yeah,
on the coin.
You don't have the variety in there?
No.
So that one doesn't have the varieties.
We can look it up on
Well, he just looked it up.
PCGS. They probably have that variety.
Right, it says, what do I do from here? Keep it.
Yeah. Put it in acrylic.
Yeah, put in a decent holder. Save it.
Yeah, I wouldn't send that out.
Kind of roll hunting, guys.
Send it to PCGS. No, buy what is it? Those couple dollar acrylic holders. Put it in that.
Yeah, I mean, these are 50 cents, $1 for decent acrylic holders.
That's not something that's going to get you like $500.
No, it's not.
It's not those ones you're going to throw in the sled. Definitely a great example coin, though.
It's really awesome.
I talked about tactile collections and tactile references. This is a perfect one.
There you go.
If this is your first nice double die that you find, keep it. It'll be worth a lot more to you sentimentally.
Yeah. Hold on to that sucker.
She said, I got the holder. I finally found a variety.
Yep. Put them on those acrylics and keep it.
Put it in the. Write yourself a little note too.
Mm-hmm.
Like keep a journal and write yourself a note because people will ask you, where did you find it? When did you find it? And you can say what you were doing and
Or you can do like what we do, and whenever you put it into your acrylic, you can put something like your note inside that 2x2 flip, like we do.
Oh, we do.
Like
okay, they have 4 graded in 55. It looks like Ken.
Okay, I think I've talked myself enough. I'm done. My happy pills are making me happy. Oh, I'm on camera.
Ken, do they have any of those graded in lower grades?
I can't scroll left. Wait. It just changed pages on me. I'm on red and brown,
Yeah, you switched to red and brown.
and I'm trying to see if I can scroll left. I can't scroll left on red and brown. 62, 63, 63 has 1 certified, 64 has 9. You know, in the better uncirculated grades, they're going for 36 to 316. I'm going to go back to brown because that's more consistent with what you have. Yeah, and Brian Patrick sent us this link. Okay. Oh, like the woody grain on that one. Okay, what do we got? I got a little arrow here.
Yeah, you can scroll over, Ken.
There we go. We're scrolling over. Okay. For your piece, I'd give it 25 to 30. BCGS says 100 to 110 in value. And they've got 2, 3, 7, 12 certified and very fine. I've got no auction records for that grade.
But if you look at the 40, one sold 417 in Heritage for 90.
Yeah, that's not too bad. Now compare the 90 actual to the 140 shown, 70%. Well, what's 70% of what you got back here? $70. Okay, my 15 to 50 estimate might have been a bit low.
Probably 50 to 75 bucks is what I'd estimate on that one.
Yeah. Now to certify it is going to cost you, 50 bucks.
It's. I don't think it's going to straight grade either. With that, looked like a little bit of corrosion. I think, if I recall correctly.
That bit of corrosion is not doing any favors. If you're not going to get a straight grade, that's gonna take a bite out of it. If you're not going to get a straight grade, skip the certification. Your coin is identifiable. You can tell what it is. It's a genuine piece. Look at it. This is not usually the sort of thing that's easily counterfeited or counterfeited in great numbers. It's a keeper. Should you choose to sell it, yeah, you can probably get 50 bucks. Well, that's not too bad. It's a good windfall. Most of the coins you're going to find in coin roll hunting that are worth something, they're good for 50 cents and $1. You got a $50 bill on that one. Coin Dragon, what's yours good for? Probably something similar.
About the same 50. Yep.
Yeah. For every 100 coins you get that are good for $5, you get one worth 10 or 15 or 20. And they're few and far between. You got a great score.
I did way better on those Class 8s.
Yep, you pat yourself on the back. That's a winner. Heck, I'm keeping this one. It's my first one. You're darn right.
Nice, perfect.
Yeah,
I still got the first variety / error that I ever found, and that was a clash.
The first one I found was that retained cut 43D still sent.
I remember that one too.
Man, when I got my first loop, every third coin was a double die. Man, I had all kinds of them.
Yeah, it's a variety, not an error.
NT hadn't been invented yet.
Brian Hooper sent in another coin.
I'm trying to find that 72 I found the other day.
Yep. Error and variety, two different terms that are all about different things entirely. An error coin, something happened, something went wrong during production. And, you had an error. It's a mistake. It's squished in half. It's got,
You had a manufacturing error.
Yep. And they're one of a kind. That's why errors bring such value. They're unique. There's no two alike. A die variety, the die itself has a change in design, either intentional or unintentional, and you have a whole lot of strikes. Every coin produced by that die will exhibit the exact same features. It's a variety.
Brian said this is the first 72 he's found.
Very nice, Brian.
I'm trying to find that 72 I found the other day.
Here we go. Another double die.
I don't have my stuff in front of me. Die 3s are very common.
Dave's looking it up right now and to see if he can find it in his book.
I got a couple of 3s around here somewhere.
I can't. Some of them are counterclockwise. Some of them are clockwise.
Oh, 8s and 3s are close.
That's right. That's right.
Man, I'm a mess right now.
One of those silly things I haven't committed to memory yet.
It looked like you're looking under that L right there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think it might be 03. But I don't see it on. Well, no, it could be there on the 2.
That bit under the top curl of the 2 is consistent with
Yeah.
Top curve.
Yeah, I think it might be 03.
Who's in
Here it is.
I'm nearly positive that's a 3. I think I have 4 or 5 of them.
Yeah. Nice.
So I can get this up here.
Awesome, Brian. Good to hear.
Nice, Brian. 3.
See, once you get that eye for it, you never lose it.
Now, Ida, you're going to have a whole lot easier time identifying double dies from now on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Tell him I found another W last night.
No.
Was this supposed to be a secret?
It's my W.
I never said you had to get rid of it. I know it's ours. I
I
found
gave
it.
my other one away.
I found it. It's going to be ours. I know that.
I'll turn this stream right around you two.
He had me looking through quarters last night, so.
Oh, by the way, do you want to look through some more tonight?
Are you out of your dang mind? Where the heck did you come up with more quarters? Where the heck did you come up with more quarters?
Okay, so here's the 72 that I found about a week ago.
Hey, mute us for a second while they're talking.
Don't they have a quarter depot near you? You see it all the time on TV. We're Quarter Depot. You need quarters? You come on down. We can give you 4 quarters for $1. We can give you 40 quarters for $10. You think, how can we possibly make money? Easy. Volume.
Yep. There's a dude like that around the airport.
And there's that I think it's, what, 9? I think.
Yeah, that's definitely not 3.
I think it's 9, if I remember looking.
Where's that? Yeah, the date. Yeah. There it is.
I'm
a little hook there on the 2.
The bottom of the 2 pointing up. That's the one. Yeah.
A little extra bit of tail.
Yep.
Yep.
Who would like a little bit extra tail?
Let me see. There's two that are very similar, that have the same shift the same way. Yeah, I think it's
your assessment was correct there, buddy.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's number 9 if I remember correctly.
That looks like a die. Everybody wonders about that extra bit inside the loop of the 2 too.
Master die.
Exactamundo. That and that funky B that everybody always sees.
Master die. Look at the I and N. I think that's really where it shows up the best.
Meaning that design is that part is gonna be on the hubs and the
See that I and that N. That's what you look for. If you see that is master die doubling. Now that's a key indicator on some of these double dies. Some of the double dies are doubled on the master die.
Yep.
Dies. The master dies make the working hubs. The master hubs make the working dies. Well, if you had doubling on the master die, it's going to be on a whole lot of coins, and about half of them will exhibit what you're seeing here. But
Yeah,
then
see,
you doubled at the die level.
yeah, see, my pickup points on this one are the D, and then your U. That U is very distinctive in terms of finding them.
Okie dokie, coin nerds. I'm out of here.
And you got just a little bit extra on that too.
Yeah, that's my main pickup point. Is that like for anything outside of 1 through 8, I look at that too.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Hi, Adriana.
Go watch that Quarter Depot commercial. You'll hear the jingle. Quarter Depot, we make quarters.
Yeah, I
Easy
think,
for you.
yeah, I think it's the first 72 I found. It's in good condition too.
Is my coin backwards to everybody here?
Nope. It's just
Nope.
blurry.
There's Shay.
What's that noise?
That was my phone.
Uh-huh.
It keeps going off for some reason. I thought I muted it.
Just a really cool Woody that I picked up from the minutes ago.
Oh, hell yeah.
What you got there, Shay?
Oh, this is Brian Hooper's 1972 double die.
Yep.
03. Let's see.
I'm pulling up Robert's 38.
Oh, okay, good. Thanks, Ken.
Wow, I got a lot of stuff. Well, I'll get close some stuff. I still got that quarter up here. I still got that 75D with the clash. I'm just going to close all these windows because holy cow.
Solid.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got him. So Robert puts up a coin. Let's see. Share. Okay, he's asking, is this 1938? I got a picture of the front. Is this a DDR, a double die reverse? So you can see it's what do you got here? I got a solid rim, maybe a little ding up here. 1938. There's a scratch, there's a little ding right there. It's probably VF, maybe a little bit better, higher end VF. Okay. And then we look at the back and we see this.
Oh, tip the ding.
Ding. Quickly. What are the diagnostics for a doubled die? We're going to look at thickness, right? Thickness in the letters. We're looking at round things.
Barrel.
Kidneys. Turn into beans. Turn into rectangles. That's what this is.
Get that barrel, yep.
This one, we don't see a whole lot. It's a little extra thickness. You're looking at, take the design and stretch it from the center straight out, right? So the vertical sections are going to be a whole lot easier to pick out. What you see here, what you see in the bottom of the L, what you see at the bottom of the U. See that big, fat bottom of the U?
Yeah.
That's a double die. Okay, look over here. What do you see?
Wow. Another barrel. You don't see that too often where you have both barrels.
Yep.
Both those dots doubled.
That's the big one. Here, this is good. This is probably doubled much like the first U, but you got a bit of a contact mark right on the bottom. Here.
I wouldn't doubt if that's one.
Here's the back of it. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. It's a solid VF. And it's not too, okay, a little scratch here and a little ding. They're not doing it any favors, but
oh yeah, VF all day.
You got one. Now we're gonna identify it proper. Like anybody got Variety Vista open?
Yep, I have it up now. There's 4.
I think it's number 1.
As long as, so if it's number 1, versus listed as RPM number 2.
It's a 38p.
38p.
Remember, it's DDR.
Yeah, if it's 38 DDR number 1, obverse is listed as RPM number 2.
Yeah,
Oh, no, I'm looking at D. I'm stupid. My bad.
yeah, I'm just saying an RPM, I think.
I thought it was a D. My bad. Uh, sleeping at the wheel.
Well, we're 3.5 hours in. It's allowed.
It's all good, dude. Really.
Nida says, wow, I'm learning a lot tonight. You're going to learn
Good.
more on your own than anything else, Ida. It's going through those coins, and it's when you see that one that sticks out and you say, gee, that's funny, that's when you learn. Because I can guarantee you're going to be able to identify that same double die if you find it again on 1941. And 1941 has several really nice, strong double dies.
Oh, it does, too.
Yep. And that's going to stick with you in your memory for a really long, probably forever. You'll say, oh, we'll check the letters. Oh, you got 1941? Let me see that.
And now you see the difference between MD and actual die doubling, too.
Yeah, and your eyes will go straight to that area.
Yeah, in terms of looking for errors and varieties, when you find that one thing that looks odd to you, you have to say to yourself, and you have to critically think, why is that so? That's when you learn the most.
That's when you start digging. Yep.
1941, there it is. I got 1941 up. There are 7 double die reverses for 1941. Are we on screen sharing? We're on screen chat.
7. Count them 7.
Man, I like them shield nickels.
Dude, you're killing me.
3 looks pretty tasty, I think. Let's look at that first.
Maybe it's not one.
Okay.
Ken, wasn't it 38?
1938. If you go through, what you do is now eliminate some and keep others as possibilities.
3.
Open them all up here. And we'll just knock them down. Okay, let's look at the first one. Extra thickness on eclair seen on both wheat ears and stems in America.
Ken, wasn't that double die reverse on a 38?
I was looking at shield nickels.
Just by chance it was. Look at that. And they look so close to the 1941s, it's hard to tell the difference. Okay. Never mind.
So the 38 double die reverse, there's 3.
Oh, that's so much easier.
And it's either 1 or 2. Number 3 you can knock out pretty quick.
Yep.
Hey, Blues.
How's it bowling? Number 3, if you look at this, you see how it says 1938 DDR number 1, DDR number 2. Over here, if you look at the bottom, it says PR. That's a proof strike. You have a business strike, so it's not going to be DDR number 3. That's how we eliminated that so quick. Okay, I think a key indicator is the shape of the center of the E.
Yeah, you look at the P, the opening on the P is what you want to look at too. Okay, opening of the P is really
kind of a wide oval.
Yeah, it's a wide oval, yep. So you go back to wheat ear stems. Can you see the wheat ears on that, Ken?
Oh, let's have a look.
Wheat stems, I mean.
I've got a piece on the left side.
Yeah, I want to see the stems, the thickness on the stems.
Yeah, the stems are a good bet. Uh-huh. The 1938 double die number 2, that's what I'm focusing on. There is, in one of these stages, a die scratch through OD of gum. And, well, that's not quite good enough here to see. So you have to check that for yourself. But here, we show why it's so handy to have the front and back photos. because sometimes you can pick up information on one side that will tell you stuff. Okay.
Yeah, so it's either one or two.
I'm favoring 2.
Yeah, a little bit extra thickness.
You know, guys.
Yep, it's number 2.
This is the hard part of being a numismatist, is trying to decide which one looks most like your coin, and see how they're eliminating it. They're eliminating different ones, and so I keep notes, especially when I have like 17 or 20 varieties, and I'll write down each variety, and then as I get it off my list, I write down, doesn't have die crack here, it doesn't have marker here. And then that way, because after about 3 or 4 of those, you forget what your coin didn't have on each one. So write it down. And
Ken, so that's number 1, right?
I've got number 1 showing right now.
Number 1, it's not going to be it. You don't have enough thickness in the L and U.
I don't like it. I've got some extra thickness in the United States, especially in the center in states.
So I lean towards number 2 on this one, just for your massive thickness.
But looking at the center of the E, the bottom of the E, and the shape of the P, I would say that is not a match for the coin that you have. Whereas number 2,
it's number 2.
which is now showing, that's the dead-on baby right there.
Yep.
And let's look at markers. And for there, the best marker is a die scratch through OD of God, which you would have on some die stages. That's your baby.
What were you saying, Shay, before I cut you off?
Oh no, just that as you go through these and you can write down what it does or doesn't have, it'll make you better at identifying them in the future, because you start remembering the markers you're looking for.
Any more emails?
What do you think, Rob?
But that's 1869 shield nickel. Now I got another one that's got some sublimation on it.
I need more shield nickels in my life.
Well, Ken, here's one for you.
Send it.
Send it? I'll send you my PayPal email.
Okay.
I just need a sugar mama.
Don't we all? Where's the other shield nickel at?
I'm 52. My time's running short, man.
God, Frank. Yeah, there's that.
Dave Watson sent some pictures yesterday.
Oh, it would be yesterday now.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
This is from. Did y'all look at this one from Robert?
Let me see.
Oh, the 70S I didn't look at.
He says RPM 10.
Yep.
That's going to be an easy one to identify.
Look at that curve on the top of that S. Top center of that. Yeah, the top center of that S.
This. Oh.
I know Ken had it up.
Oh,
What am I looking at here? It's like a rock.
let me go back. Okay, we've got to go here.
And there's Chris.
There. Nope. There.
Yep.
Open image and new tab. Here it is. There it is. Look at this beauty.
Yep. Center of the S. Just poking up out there.
I think you might have a little MD up here at the very top, maybe. But you've got a fully split upper and an extra curve right down the center. Let's compare that to what we see over on
What?
Righty Vista. My go-to is Righty Vista.
Yeah. It's a lot more user friendly than Wexler, I think.
Yeah, but the photos on copper coins are so much better. They're far superior.
Yes. Yep.
Home.
Number one.
100%. Not it, not it, not it, not it, not it. The way they lay these out, you can compare one to the next, side by side, and quickly say, it ain't these other 7. It's this one.
Well, that's the only one that's north.
There you go, Konica Top 100. And it is a large date. Okay, they also show that little bit right at the top.
Interesting. Die chip on the back of the C. There's your die marker.
So I'm thinking, how about S over S over S?
Yeah, so I'd look on that die chip on the back. That's going to be your biggest way to 100% authenticate it.
Have we got that image?
Your first image.
What's it in the C?
It's on the C, yep.
Just above halfway?
Yep.
Well, this is the best photo I've got, but I've got a bright spot in that particular place.
Looks like there's a chip there, yep.
Okay, and there were some die chips in the memorial column.
In the column, there's columns, one of the die states.
We know which column?
I just briefly saw it when you had it up.
Number 1, 9, and 12. Where's the picture? Column 1, inconclusive. 9 is the one towards the top. I've got a bright spot here. When you get into the markers, you need really good magnification there.
It looks like the one on the C there, that's going to be the one that's going to be kind of sort of most important. It's going to be the one that's going to last the longest.
Yeah. The easy one to pick out is that C. You might have more. That depends on die stage, too. Yep, that's a winner. They got prices. How much? $700. Woohoo!
Great. Googly movie.
RPM number 1. It's a nice one.
Oh, scratch. Yeah, it's a beach. Lose, you got 741 points. The most you can get is 300. Explain yourself. I don't understand golf, but I don't know how to play golf.
There we go. I see.
I can't tell you.
I see that. Me and Ken were busy. I didn't see all those messages. It got hid. There we go.
But checkmycoin at yahoo.com. Thank you, Cindy. And Dave and Coin Dragon.
Ida says looking for varieties on Wexler. He doesn't have the 54. He starts at 59. He has his divided out by wheat, so you just have to look in the wheat section.
Oh, 3 gig.
This is what Ida sent. We got a die chip in the 9.
I don't see it, baby.
Hold on, let me see here.
4.
Stuck on me. Let's get back to Shay.
1954S. On the variety, the DDO varieties on 1954, it's really subtle underneath the 4. This picture is.
Shay?
What was that?
Do you need to show the screen?
Oh, thanks.
Nice, honey.
Yeah, but it's typical. That's typical chips. Yeah, that's your typical chips and die deterioration with that 9 and that 5.
And you want to.
And then that's not going to be under that 4. It's not going to be a double die. You have your ridge rim there.
Yeah.
So it's just going to be die deterioration and metal flow from die weakness from that 4.
I keep it. I'm funny with those.
Pretty fresh reverse design, reverse die. You have a little bit of
BID.
sinking of the die towards the edges.
Subsidence.
I'm going to give you a link, and you can bookmark this. This will be to. Oh, let me show the screen again. Hold it 1 moment. Let me get ready.
Yeah, on that 9 and that 5, that's a die chip, and then you have some die deterioration under that 4.
Now, I've got a key information websites page on my blog. And in there, you're going to find these 3, doubledie.com. You know that one. That's Wexler. You get Variety Vista. You get the sand database. And there is, there's another one good down here. Copper Coins is also a great one. So I'm going to go to chat and just post a link to that page so you can find everything. Okie doke. And that'll help you out.
I'll be right back, guys.
Anybody know if there's any more emails?
Andre Lee was just asking where can we send pics.
Robert just sent a shield.
Okay. I just said it's getting it's going to get a much more, can't talk. This is getting to be much more fun now. Yep. That thrill of a hunt, you just caught it and it'll stick with you for a long time. All the work and time you put in searching and learning, you reach that mountaintop with finding something like that. All right, who has our TV on?
It says camera microphones allowed. The microphone allowed.
That would have been me. Sorry, my bad.
I release sending them now. Ida says, thank you very much, guys. Time for bed. Good night. Stay groovy.
Have a good night.
Come back and do it again.
Yep. To any weak points of where your devices are.
Cindy.
Who's got Robert's nickel? Anybody?
I got it up here.
Oh, there you go.
Buddy.
And on the reverse, down between 6 o'clock and 8 o'clock, he's got 2 die cracks that are pretty bold.
Yep, they run right across the devices. The same thing like you get a ridge rim nowadays on modern coinage, you get die cracks through these devices in the same areas on these older issues.
Focus on Shay?
It is focused on Shay.
Huh.
Yep, it's focused on Shay.
Oh, there they are.
It's 18. What?
Nice full rim on that thing. Beautiful.
The motto was nice too.
Balls and curves.
Oh God.
Okay, look, I got to get up tomorrow and head to Gainesville. Talk to a man about a horse. Well, that's
what the kids are calling it these days.
You got to meet somebody. You say, I got to talk to a man about a horse. Okay. I want to thank you guys for.
Thanks for stopping by, Ken.
Yeah, good, man.
Hosting.
See you next time, brother.
Everybody in chat, make sure you hit that subscribe button, right? Hit that like button. Come on back. We do it every week. It's a lot of fun. Okay, guys. I'm out. You stay groovy.
Have a good night, Ken. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, Shumar, for hosting. And
yeah, for real, man. Thanks, Jeff.
Yep. Thanks for pulling photos there, Shay.
Oh yeah, no biggie. Good. All right, I'm gonna head out too. Y'all have a good night. Time for sleep.
Yeah, see you, Shay.
All right. Bye, y'all.
Yep, it's 12. Yep, it's 12:30 here.
Yes, it is.
So I know it's 12:30 for me and Frank. At least everybody else can be up a little bit later. But thanks everyone that stopped by. For at least my rambling and everybody else's, some good information, some actually really nice finds that people have found this week, and Robert Not a Troll just is thanking Coin Dragon for wearing the shirt this week.
Oh, just give me it. Would you stop?
All right, well I think we're gonna call it here. If you like the stuff you see, down linked below should be. I wonder if I have it linked below. I know I have it linked in the announcement to the 1 Million Pennies Project blog page for our weekly Q&A. And then we'll probably here in a couple days, we'll figure out who's doing it next week and kind of go from there. But it's going to be pretty. That's pretty much going to be all for me. Thanks you guys for stopping by, and guess we'll see you guys next week.